INnoVation.
We're finally here. Another GSL Codes Finals. This finals is going to kick a lot of ass. SOS versus INnoVation. I cannot wait to get this going, Artosis.
This story could not be better here, Tasteless. We have SOS, who's just slipped into the top 8, going for his first GSL Codes Championship. Of course, Beyond denied him last year in the finals of the year, which also denied BlizzCon. This is a huge moment for SOS, because if he goes to BlizzCon, I mean, how much is that prize pool for first place? Enough that you think he'll win, right?
He always wins the tournaments with the biggest prize pools.
But the thing is, there could not be a bigger roadblock in SOS's path than INnoVation, who, by the way, if he wins this, ties MVP's record in GSL.
And if he does win here, we have to take it to the next level and say, okay, he really is the very best of the best. Dude, he's going to be that dominant here and now, especially after the other tournaments he's already competed in so far. He's somebody we have to respect as unstoppable.
INnoVation, I mean, he is the best player in the world. He has been for quite some time, the dominating Terran force since probably 2012, really. He's been rising up and staying up there, being the hope of all Terrans. I mean, if he wins tonight, you have to really consider him for the GOAT. The greatest of all time.
That's right. We're going to do a quick interview on stage here. I believe one close friend of SOS and one close friend of INnoVation. These are fans, excuse me.
선수의 팬분이신데 자기소개 부탁드릴게요.
네, 저 서울에서 온 김희경입니다.
네. 낯이 조금 있는 것 같은데 언제부터 김유진 선수를 응원하셨어요?
저 김유진 선수 데뷔 2010년부터 응원했습니다.
와.
She said, sorry, when did you start to support SOS? He said since he started his pro gamer career.
응원을 하셨다고 합니다. 아니 김유진 선수의 어떤 매력 때문에 이렇게 오랫동안 응원하셨어요?
What made you become an SOS fan?
왔는데도 아직도 어떤 빌드를 쓰실지 모르고.
Well, I've just been watching him for a really long time.
네, 매력이 있어서 계속 응원하게.
He's so unpredictable.
매일매일 새롭나요?
네, 아주.
And I'm always excited to see what he's going to dish out.
자, 그런 김유진 선수가 GSL 두 번째 결승.
So everything he does is pretty fresh, right? Yes, everything he does is quite new.
하겠고요. 자, 이번에는 이신영 선수의 팬분입니다. 안녕하세요.
Let's meet one of the fans of INnoVation.
Hello. Hello.
네, 경기도 안양에서 온 전민찬이라고 합니다.
네, 반갑습니다.
I'm a Terran player from the ladder.
He came down from
이신영 선수를 언제부터 좋아하셨어요?
저는 2013년 때 STX 소속 시절 때부터
So when did you
좋아하게
become a fan of
되었습니다.
INnoVation?
와, 역시 오래된 팬분이시네요. 이신영 선수의
Back when he was an STX player, that was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
최적화된 빌드와 판단력,
What charms you about
컨트롤로
him?
상대를 압도하는 매력에 이제 빠져서
I think his
팬이 되게
control
됐어요.
and his strategy and his overall execution.
네.
He's just the perfect player.
이신영 선수를 응원하기 위해서 이 자리까지 와주셨는데, 자,
And
오늘
that's why I'm a big fan of his.
시작하기 앞서 두 분의 힘찬 응원 메시지, 그리고 이 끝에
So before we start,
힘찬 응원 구호까지 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 모두 기억하시죠?
let's hear what your
네, 그럼 먼저 들어볼까요?
let's hear what you guys are going to say to your
김유진
favorite
선수의
players.
국내 첫 우승 바로 오늘입니다. 김유진 화이팅!
Today's the day that SOS is going to get first place in the GSL.
김유진 선수가 힘이 나실
And
것
everybody give a
같습니다.
big cheer for him.
응원 부탁드립니다.
시즌 3
What about you? What do you have to say for INnoVation?
이신형 화이팅!
네, 감사합니다.
Season
두 분 모두
3.
감사합니다.
Let's go for a championship INnoVation. And everybody said
자,
a big
이신영
good
선수와
luck, a big
김유진
cheer.
선수가 이분들의 응원을 듣고 무척 힘이 나실 것 같은데요.
And,
오늘 이런
yeah,
팬들의
I mean,
응원을
this is,
받을
this is gonna be really sick,
최고의
Artosis.
경기력.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
자,
I'm very excited.
2018 GSL 시즌 3
Great interviews to start
That was,
시작해보겠습니다.
I think I've been our start of the show.
I think that fan should teach INnoVation how to do interviews, man.
All right, guys, we're going to get this going momentarily. Again, the GSL Codes Finals, INnoVation versus SOS. Tell your friends to join us here on whatever platform you're watching this on, because it's going to be a very, very special night.
아니에요. 여기가 끝입니다.
Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S Final.
GSL의 마지막 챔피언을 가리는
So close to getting this going,
2017
Artosis. We're going to be bringing our two players out momentarily.
군단의 심장 최고의 프로토스와
I love the fact that every season we start out with so many players and we slowly chop that in half and then half again until eventually there's only going to be 2 people left and one person finally comes out on top.
This is crazy, and you could not ask for a better finals here. I think we have something beautiful in store for everyone watching.
We're going to be bringing out our players. First player, SOS, 2-time world champion.
SOS 김유채.
Generic Green Wings SOS.
Do you really want it? 완벽한 반짝이.
And here he comes. The most creative and unpredictable player. Still a guy with solid control, solid macro, but an absolutely torturous guy to try to prepare to play against.
Consistently rated as the most difficult opponent amongst all Korean pros.
That's right. And his opponent coming up here, the complete and total polar opposite. And now we'll be bringing out INnoVation, the perfect Terran.
공허의 유산 현존하는 최고의 테란으로 거듭나기 위한 준비를 하고 있습니다. 역대 최고의 테란 INnoVation 이신영.
Command center upgrade complete. Nuclear missile ready.
INnoVation.
And INnoVation, of course, like we were saying, the complete and total opposite of SOS. This guy, you can know exactly what he's going to do and still have a hard time stopping him.
There cannot be a Terran who does not look up to INnoVation. Current world champion Beyond. He's a fan of INnoVation. That's how good INnoVation is. That doesn't even make sense, right? That sentence. The current world champion is a fan of this Terran.
It's
not
true.
the other way around.
It's true.
That's how strong
It's a little bit weird, but that is the case.
He is just relentless in his play, and everything has gone up a notch in the past
I was
year
going
or
to say,
so.
it seems like he's gotten to the next level here. He is becoming a little bit more of a mix-up artist.
Yes, he is mixing in strategies and cheeses on levels that we only saw MVP do previously.
That's right.
His micro is now on Beyond's level. His macro is still the best there's ever been.
On to the interview, starting with SOS.
이 무대에서도 처참히 무너질 거라 예측을 많이 해줬는데 그 예측들을 전부 다 무너뜨리고 현존하는
There are a lot of people
프로토스임을 증명을 했습니다. 옆에 있는
that are
이신영
claiming
선수
that SOS is going to be
테란의
eliminated
독재자,
early on, that said it's supposed to be eliminated early on in the
테란의
season.
평가를 받고 있는데 많은 분들이 생각하는 이신영 선수와
And now you're facing one of the strongest, if not the strongest Terran.
우선
What's the difference between you two, and what do you have to say?
올라온 것 같은데 이제 진짜 마지막 끝판왕이 남은 것 같아서 연습도 많이 해왔고 그래서 이신영 선수도 잘하긴 하는데
He
제가
seems
이길
like
만큼
a final
연습해온 것
boss in a
같아요.
video game to me. He's the exact right opponent I should be facing in the finals.
준비해온 그 비책이 있다는 말씀을 해주셨는데
But I've been training a lot and I'm very confident.
김진일 선수와 갖지 못한 타이틀을 가지고 있습니다. GSL 우승자 출신이에요. 하지만 김유진 선수는
INnoVation has titles you've yet to achieve.
좀 아쉽게 준우승 차지했죠.
He's a GSL champion.
김유진 선수와 지금의 김유진 선수.
You made it to the finals as well before, but you were the runner-up. What's going to happen this
결승전에
time?
올라간 것 자체만으로도 좀 신나서 너무 들떴었는데 그때 준우승 이후로는
Well, that was my first finals.
도끼를 품고 열심히 해볼 생각입니다.
I was happy and
후회
excited,
없이
but this time
정말 미친 듯이
I've got much more
이 선수
determination coming into
떨구기
this.
위해서 준비를 해왔다고 이야기하는데요. 준비는 끝났습니까?
네, 준비는 끝났는데 막상 경기장 오니까 관중들이 많아서 그런지
So you
살짝
finished your
긴장이
preparation for the
되네요.
finals? Yes, I did.
그래도 이신영 선수와는 다르게 진에어 그리닝 선수들이 이렇게 와서 지켜보고 있잖아요. 그 선수들이 얼마만큼
Now that I'm in the final stage, though, I am a little bit nervous.
이번 시즌에 또 확실하게 이 팬분들
I know a lot of
앞에서
people are putting a lot of
어떤
high
경기를 펼칠
expectations on me.
건지 하고 말씀해 주시다면요.
이제 마지막
Any
경기
final words
남았는데
before we
후회
start
없는
this?
경기 펼치도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
This is my last match. I'm going to bring you guys my best games. I'm not going to leave tonight with any regrets.
우승 후보인데 올라오는 길이 쉽지가 않았어요. 마지막까지 가는 풀세트 접전이 여러 차례 있었죠. 그렇게
It was not an easy road to get here, INnoVation.
어려운 게
Many very close matches
사파의 수장 김유진
to
선수의
finally get here to the
그
finals.
부분에 있어서 어떤 준비를 하셨어요?
일단은
How did you prepare for tonight?
유진이보다 잘하는
He's very difficult to prep
4명과
for.
연습을 해가지고
So there
그래서
are
또
four
그 선수들
specific
상대로도
Protosses
되게
I trained with who I think are
승률이
actually better than
좋아가지고
SOS.
오늘 자신 있고 솔직히 뭘 할지는 잘 모르긴 하겠는데
And those four Protosses have an overall
올해도
better
약간
win rate than
어설프지
SOS.
않을까
I don't think I really need to worry. I'm not concerned about how SOS is going to play.
그러면은 지금 이신영 선수는 오늘 이 무대에서 4천만 원의 우승상을 가져가고 이것뿐만 아니라 거기 블리즈컨까지
He said he's far from
하고 있는 거죠. 지금 단순히 김유진이 아니라
So you've already got the mindset to not only
그쵸.
win tonight,
아니,
but to win
지금
BlizzCon
이신영
as well.
선수 인터뷰에서요.
He
표정에
said, yeah, of course.
긴장감이 전혀 없습니다. 웃으면서 김유진 선수를 지금 쳐다보고 있는데 그러면
Well, SOS, it doesn't seem like INnoVation is very nervous at all.
생각하세요?
What do you think SOS's weakness is then?
자기 스스로 무너져 내리는 것 같은데
스스로 무너지는 게 이 선수의 약점이다.
I think SOS sometimes
김유진 선수. 지금 이신영 선수의 결승 무대에서 이렇게
Throws himself off,
확실하게
that's his
자신감을
weakness.
가지고 내가 이길 거다 무너져 내릴 선수가 얘기한 건 처음이거든요.
네,
이 부분에 있어서는요.
INnoVation seems very confident in
그건
SOS.
제가 많이 접어서
What's your take on that?
좀 자신감이 넘치는 것 같아서
네.
이 자신감을
Well, it's
계속
understandable.
가지고 가면 저에게
I've lost a lot against him in the past.
될것 같아요.
I can see why he has that kind of confidence.
이신영 선수가 방심하는 순간에
But I think he can keep that confidence. That can also be a double-edged sword.
이신영 선수를 완벽하게 쓰러뜨릴 수 있다는 생각이시죠?
네, 그런 느낌입니다.
그럼 오늘 연습 경기 해왔을 텐데 판짝이 들고 나왔을 텐데 7전 4선승제 몇 대면
So
예상하세요?
you prepped a lot for tonight. What do you predict those
4대 0
results are going to be?
아니면 4대 3 예상하고 있습니다.
4대 0 아니면
It's going to
4대
be
3
4-0
뭔가 확실하게
or
준비가 돼 있음을
4-2 or
지금까지 그런
4-3. So I guess
이야기거든요.
no 4-1.
No, he said
한짝이 안
it's
무서워요.
either going to be 4-0 or 4-3.
Ah, 4-3.
빼놓을 수 없는 인물인데 두려움
Close
전혀
or a
없어요.
blowout.
웃고 있어요 인터뷰를 하는데
INnoVation.
그 정도로 편합니까?
What are your predictions?
그냥 GSL
And do you still
16강
feel
하는 것
confident against SOS
같거든요.
now?
김유진은 16강에 어울린다.
I feel like this is the GSL round
한
of 16.
8강전 하는 걸 봤는데 거기서 좀 자신감을 많이 얻었고
I saw his VODs.
모르겠어요.
I've seen how he
어떤
plays against
판짝이라
Terran.
할지는 모르겠는데
That gave me even more confidence.
솔직히 좀
Now,
무섭기는
that means that I don't know what kind
한데
of strategy he's prepped. So that
뭐
part,
할게
I suppose, is a
있나
little bit
싶기도
scary.
해가지고
But
할게 있나 싶다.
I don't see him as a-
되면 예측하세요.
I don't think there's anything that special that he
저는
can pull off against
이기면
me.
4대 1로
Okay, then what are your thoughts for the results?
4대 3으로 질 거예요.
I think if I win,
자 이렇게
it should be 4-1.
선수의 이야기 속에서
If I lose, it'll be
강한 자신감이
3-4.
느껴졌습니다. 역대 최고의 정말 엄청난
So that is
대결
going to
뚫고
conclude our
올라오는
interview.
대결입니다. 여러분 즐길
But
준비
this is going to be
되셨나요?
an absolutely epic match. I'm so
결승전
pumped.
시작해도 되겠습니까?
Pastor Park's getting the crowd hyped.
I'm
Sure, you guys at home are getting hyped, and we're going to go into this absolutely sick finals. SOS versus INnoVation, two opposites. Creativity versus pure solid mechanics. Let's find out what happens.
조금이라도 괜찮아지는 상황을
우중간에 잡아내면서 최고의 선수 평가를 얻고 있는 김대엽을 이렇게 잡습니까?
정말
저도 제가 결승 올 줄 몰랐고요. 하다 보니까 쟤는 떨어질 거다 이런 게 있다 보니까 좀 그런 거를 없애기 위해 이번 시즌은 좀 생각보다 더 도끼를 품고 했던 것 같아요. 특히 시즌 1 때도 어떻게 올라가서 4강 갔었는데 시즌 2 때 좀 빨리 떨어지다 보니까 사람들한테 빨리 잊혀졌던 것 같아요. 그리고 다시 올라가니까 또 어느 정도는 인정해주는 분위기지 않나 싶어요.
클래스 차이가요. SOS 김윤.
그때는 GSL 첫 결승이라 그런지 엄청 기뻤었거든요. 근데 지금은 생각보다 덤덤한 것 같아요. 왜냐면 그때는 결승 가서 준우승을 해서 그런지 기쁜 마음보다는 마지막 아직 산을 넘어야 되는 게 있어서 더 그런 것 같아요.
사실 경기가 너무 좀 어렵게 가기도 했고 중반에도 약간 위험한 타이밍이 많이 있어가지고 이기기 힘들 거라고 생각을 했는데 결과적으로 또 지지를 극적으로 받아내가지고 1, 2, 3번 결승 때는 승리에 대한 확신이 되게 있었죠. 나름 자신감이. 근데 이번에는 그냥 좀 자신이 별로 없어요.
우승 많이 한 것도 영광스럽게 좀 생각하지만 마지막에 남는 거는 상금이기 때문에 GSL도 우승하고 블리즈컨도 우승해서 상금 랭킹 1등을 한번 달아보고 싶은데
저라는 사람이 그런 커리어를 쌓았다는 게 그냥 신기하기도 하고 약간 현실감이 없긴 하죠. 모르겠어요. 어쩌다 보니까 계속 결승에 가네요.
퇴물이다 보니까 상대 선수들이 잘 방심하지 않나 싶어요. 그래도 좀 잘하는 선수 한 명 한 명 이기다 보면 아직 내 실력이 살아있음을 느끼고
네, 저는 재능이 타고난 것 같아요.
INnoVation with some fantastic play, playing against something he probably never has before. GG.
첫 결승이었는데 내 입장에서는 1대0으로 졌을 때는 괜찮아, 2대0으로도 아직 괜찮아 했는데 3경기 지고 나서부터는 뭔가 좀 벽처럼 느껴졌는데 좀 지나고 보니까 원래 저런 스타일 선수구나 이제 생각이 들고
그때 이제 유진이가 저한테 첫 우승을 안겨줘가지고 첫 이제 우승이다 보니까 더 의미가 있는 것 같아요.
잘 뽑고 돈이 안 남아요.
그건 맞는 것 같아요. 뭐 할지 모르겠다라는 게 장점인 것 같아요.
신영이가 보면 진짜 뭐 하는 게 없거든요. 지할 것만 해요. 근데 그게 변화가 없어도 다 이기니까 굳이 변할 필요가 없는 것 같아요.
무기력할 때 좀 많이 무기력하고 기본기가 좀 부족하다? 사실 근데 최근에 유진이가 아무래도 성적을 많이 낸 건 아니어가지고 딱히 막 경기를 본 게 없어요. 유진이 경기를.
결승에서 패고 싶네요. 신영아 오랜만이다.
오랜만이네.
근데 왜 이렇게 웃고 있냐?
그냥 웃는 거야.
태물이라고 불렀던 저 사람들이 이렇게 결승에서 만나니까 태물이 그래도 오래 가는 것 같네.
제가 퇴물이라고요? 유진이는 퇴물이 맞죠. 이번 시즌은 한 게 없으니까. 근데 너는 퇴물이라고 생각할지 모르지만 나는 아니거든.
너는 스타프에 대한 사랑이 좀 부족한 것 같아.
그렇지 않아. 스타트도 나름 재밌게 잘 하고 있고 애정이 없는 거는 아니야.
GSL 때 월드에서 우승도 했고 너는 올해도 돈 많이 번 것 같은데 이번 결승에도 한 번만 나도 우승해보자. 해외대 같은 경우에는 우승 많이 해봐가지고 제 목표는 GSL 우승이기 때문에 이제 진짜 딱 한 걸음 남은 것 같아서 꼭 우승해보고 싶어요.
아무래도 저는 근데 큰 대회를 한 번도 못 먹어봐가지고 좀 그냥 작게 많이 먹은 스타일이라
요즘은 좀 실력이 자신이 없어서 그런지 한 경기 한 경기가 워낙 소중하게 느껴지더라고요. 봤으니까 꼭 우승하는 모습 보여드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
GSL만 좀 부진해서 나름 좀 그랬는데 이번에 결승까지 왔고 또 우승까지 해서 그 기세를 타가지고 블리즈컨까지 좀 잘하고 싶네요.
Oh my God, the hype is so real right now. These two are gonna have just a knockdown fight, Tasteless. I am so pumped. And a lot of people are just saying, you know, INnoVation's the best. He's the one that's going to win it. But you know what? When you really look at something like this, a best of 7 that SOS has had time to prepare for, I loved when INnoVation said he practiced with 4 Protosses that he considers to be better than SOS, so he's very prepared. He has no idea what SOS could do. Well, that's the point, INnoVation, okay? He's playing with 4 Protosses better. Why aren't they in the finals? Okay?
Well, also, there's the fact that SOS is the best in a long series. He knows how to map out builds and strategies and styles to make it tough to be ready for. Also, you and I have been casting long enough, and we've been casting SOS long enough to know that you never, ever, ever count him out.
No. If you count him out for this series right now, if you're tuning, you're like, well, INnoVation's so good, he's just going to like 4-1 him. You're crazy. You just don't even know. It could occur.
Half of these games should be ones where SOS does something really crazy, and it either completely crushes INnoVation or INnoVation manages to maneuver out of it.
Yeah.
The INnoVation is not quite at that flash level. Comparing Terrans from different, StarCraft 1 to StarCraft 2. If you look at the way the Flash handles the game, he never was losing to any kind of cheeses early on. INnoVation still has some holes in his play and can be beat up early. Not to mention, SOS can go into a really standard long macro game and do a perfectly good job.
StarCraft 2 is just, it's such a strategic game, and I want to go back to what he said about practicing with 4 Protosses that he deems to be better. I mean, you can just think those off the top of your head right now, very easy to figure it out. People like Sats and Zest and whatnot, but the thing is, they attack in a different way than SOS. All these Protosses are so different. INnoVation, I have no doubt, is the best TVP player in the world right now, but SOS attacks you in the dark spots, okay? He attacks you in the joints. He finds the places of weakness, and he dives after those with ways that you have never seen. So
I've never seen a player play around the play styles of another player so perfectly as SOS does. But that being said, INnoVation, what's so scary about him is how perfect he is at production, at pushing. He has the cleanest games you'll ever see in StarCraft 2.
If anything goes wrong for SOS, and nothing in turn goes wrong for INnoVation within seconds of that, then I think INnoVation wins that game, right? That's kind of how I'm looking at this. But, for instance, SOS versus Bjorn last year, and then SOS versus INnoVation now, this is a better matchup for him, if you ask me, because the way that Bjorn plays, it's like, I've never seen Bjorn play a TVP where he didn't lose half of his SCVs, okay? That's just like, he's a micro player, he gets with it, he finds ways to get damage against you. That's not particularly the way INnoVation plays. He wants to play a perfect game, he came prepared, and that's what SOS is counting on.
I think you are totally correct in your analysis of that. The fact of the matter is that Bjorn, when he did beat SOS, it was a lot more of these little skirmishes in the middle of the map where maybe any other Terran player would have lost to SOS, but Bjorn bends the rules of how we understand armies functioning in little fights. INnoVation is obviously good at control, but doesn't devote as much of his time to a lot of these smaller fights in the middle of the map. He's more of a big picture player as far as getting the production up, pushing out, hitting at the right moment, and also knowing when to retreat. SOS is somebody who plays the map, the player, that phase in the meta that you're in, as well as that phase in the series in a best of 7, and knows how to completely and totally turn a game upside down. SOS is really a poker player when it comes to a game like this, and he's very, very tough to read. Where INnoVation is a lot more raw strength, a lot more muscle.
Yes, he truly is. But you know what? INnoVation, I'm sure, is so prepped for this. I feel like we're going to figure out what INnoVation's game plan is going to be pretty quickly. I wouldn't mind him mixing in some really dastardly cheeses. We saw him going kind of crazy against Dark to bring that one home. I think he needs to do that against SOS as well. If he tries to play an INnoVation style, a standard TVP, then SOS will be ready for that, and that might be his best chance at taking this one home.
I think what you brought up is really important because INnoVation is beginning to get to this next level. He's not as easy to put in a box as he was before. He's still got all that great mechanics, but he also is starting to blend in a few out there strats to make for a cleaner, safer victory in a full best of 7 or a best of 5. And that's something SOS definitely has to be ready for, because if you end up with SOS going for some weird proxy and INnoVation is going for a weird proxy, I think maybe SOS is still favored in that position just because he seems to have better instincts overall. But you never know. That could throw SOS off and make him start to play a more conservative game in the long run.
Well, if he's playing a conservative game, that's where INnoVation, I think, is going to butcher a nerd. I think across all StarCraft 2 pros in the world right now, this man is without a doubt the greatest of them. His strength is so much, and he has the potential this year, I think, to forever, if he wins this and BlizzCon, to forever become the greatest of all time. I can't, like, who is ever going to catch INnoVation if he does that?
That's when we have to end StarCraft 2. We're like, all right, we've solved it.
Yeah.
INnoVation is the best.
It is done.
Shut the servers down. We finally figured it out. But let me tell you something. SOS, again, 2-time world champion. Never count this guy out.
Yeah.
He can always pull a rabbit out of the hat. Oh. And the map lineup, by the way, with Mech Depot and Abyssal Reef is the first 2 maps. Mech Depot especially.
Yeah, that's a really cool one to open it up with. The one that I was staring at and I was really waiting to see where it was in the lineup is Acolyte. Because this is the map where I look at, I'm like, SOS will beat INnoVation on this map. Yeah. Like, if that was one of the first 2 maps, I was going to say, whoever wins, like, if INnoVation wins that, the series is over in his favor, in my opinion, because that is, like, the map where SOS could truly beat himself. That's the map where, you know, SOS can actually just have a fever dream and come up with a strategy that no Terran will beat the first time they see.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just, it is crazy, crazy map. So having that last, I think, makes it wild if we go to that last map. I'm picking SOS
I think we will, Artosis.
We definitely could.
It's time, guys. The game is loaded up. Map number 1 is Mech Depot. SOS versus INnoVation. A fight to become the champion of the GSL Codex.
Fight! 2017 Hot 6, GSL Season 3, Code S.
In the bottom left, in the blue, the 2-time world champion. He is
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
in the upper right, in the red. If he wins this,
INnoVation.
It'll be his 3rd GSL finals victory, which is insane.
Which ties MVP.
MVP, that's right.
It's pretty wild, like how much he is going in his footsteps and how his play is coming more and more out of the box, becoming more like MVP, where he's just like, oh, I'm throwing in the optimal number of cheeses at this point. And like, I mean, it's from different eras, so it is very hard to compare. But we're at that point where these are the 2 players that you have to compare. It's like, who is it? Who is the greatest ever? And INnoVation is getting closer and closer.
You know, it's An interesting thing to note, too, is that SOS's success has been very much so spread out, which would make sense because if you are a tricky player, it's not always going to work, right? But it's working more than it's not working because he's still coming out on top very, very often, where INnoVation seems to be on a little bit more of a consistent beat, especially this year.
Yeah, well, you know, just the consistency that INnoVation has is so much due to just what his base skills are. You know, this is something that comes up quite a bit, and INnoVation even said about SOS, it feels like he doesn't quite have the base skills that INnoVation has, right? Where it's like INnoVation's macro is a 10, his micro is a 10.
Right.
There you go. His strategy is basically a 10. But SOS, his mind games are a 15. And his strategies range from a 5 to a 15. Okay?
Yeah,
it's
depending.
like there is some variation in SOS's play, and that is both his curse and his power. That is why, you know, looking at this BlizzCon, it's like, in my opinion, it's TY and INnoVation the whole way, unless SOS makes it, because this guy throws a wrench into the best laid plans of anybody.
Well, SOS is the player that can interrupt everything that we expect to have happen in a tournament or in a series, or in a matchup for that matter. He really does have a very varied way of approaching each game. Now, let's talk about the fact that this is a best of 7, right? There's a lot of games that are going to be played here tonight, and that means it's a lot of data for each player to try to read into as you go into game 1 to game 2 to game 3 and so on. So there's a lot of things that you have to keep in mind. A, do you want to try to do a build that you're not going to use and give them some false data, try to throw them off?
Yeah.
Or do you try to do your standard play, get a read on how they respond to that, and then try to react from there? You usually, in fact, pretty much never, will win a big tournament not having varied play in a series. That's the whole reason why we settle a match, a professional StarCraft match, within a series of games and not just one. We could have just as easily had them sit down and play one big drawn-out game and conclude, okay, now we know who's better. But that's not the way the game works. It's a series of strategies that you're executing over and over on a variety of different maps. So, and that's also why SOS is so scary in this setting, is because he seems to very much so be able to tailor play styles and strats and builds according to how his opponent is playing on any given day.
Yeah. Now, look at what SOS is doing. This is already pretty creative out of him, right? He's made 3 Adepts to open, gotten Glaives and a Prism, and now is adding a couple more gates. Now, originally, you could look at this. If you put your thumb in between the Prism and the Glaives, you'd be like, oh, I see. Yeah, he's doing it all in. No, but that's not it. He added 2 gases earlier. He's getting 1/1 upgrades, so it looks like he wants to put on some pressure here, do some harassment with these Adepts, but at the same time, he is making a lot of upgrades. He's going for that macro style here on Mech Depot, a gigantic map.
Yeah, and by the way, I like the movement pattern he has here with this War Prism down at the bottom and the Adept to shade forward. So this is a build that can be disguised to look like it's a little bit more of an all-in than it in fact actually is. It's totally not. It's a very conservative play, but masked brilliantly because he's got 2 forges behind this. So a lot of times when you see somebody doing something insane or trying to be super aggro to you, all you want to do is sit back and defend it because you know in the long run you're going to have more sophisticated and developed tech and a better economy, but not the case this time. Now, while that's happening, though, INnoVation's already moving out. I'm sorry, that War Prism there it is.
This is good for SOS if you ask me. Okay, he's about to go over there and harass with a Prism. Also, he's getting an Immortal, 8 gates and 1/1 before his third base, and INnoVation is walking out with an army. So already, SOS starting to get some damage done, and there is no chance he's going to die at home to this counterattack.
INnoVation can't turn around right now. He's gone too far. He's going to have to commit. The big question, of course, is SOS going to be able to deal with his army up here in the front? Will he have to sack his natural? The positioning of the Marines is quite good. Of course, the Immortal can gun down the tanks. However, I'm sorry, is the War Prism killed? Do we know if that War Prism was killed?
I think
it's gone.
I don't see the War Prism right now, but look at this. He's getting a lot of SCV kills.
Oh, hold up.
And
He's
this is going to be a super easy hold. Oh, my God.
All right, right now, the favor definitely going towards SOS here as he's held off the push, suffering very little losses. 23 SCVs killed. Oh, my God, it did live.
Yeah.
How did it get over there? Okay.
It flew.
Good. It flew.
Wow, its arms must be tired.
The fact that the Viking didn't get down there and kill that, I was sure that would have been taken out. Okay, he's now hunting for it as we cast this. It looks like the War Prism's going to go down here to the bottom right and hide there. But INnoVation feeling the hurt, and SOS already in very good condition. Doesn't mean he's going to close this one out and win it, but right now he is definitely in the lead.
Dude, he is in such a lead right now. He is up a good 15 workers. He's going to be able to take his third. He's getting 2-2. What is INnoVation getting? He's starting +1 armor, so definitely not the greatest situation for INnoVation. He does have this medevac doing some harassment. Maybe he can stall out this Colossus tech. That would be very nice.
Okay, that's something. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the play that you need.
No.
I mean, when you get in this position like that, get whatever you can out of it, right?
Absolutely.
But shutting down thermal lance, I mean, hey, that's going to be handy. But again, I don't know if infantry alone are going to be really the way that INnoVation can leverage this game.
Well, just the 2-2 upgrades. Just
alone,
this army
yeah.
beats whatever comes if he's in position. But it's a gigantic map. INnoVation continuing to throw out medevacs here. 2 of them going towards his third base, and with SOS going out towards INnoVation's base, this third base will be canceled, but with 2-2 about to finish, he might be able to kill INnoVation.
Yeah, that's the big issue here, is that the core units for SOS are much stronger, despite STIM, as well as medevacs here for support. And I think a few adepts can hold off any drop, but meanwhile, the big push coming up here, I don't know how you can stop this, especially with drops out on the map for INnoVation. He needs to have everything here, and he simply doesn't have that.
Well, this is turning into a base trade awfully quickly, is what it looks like, Tasteless. INnoVation pushing up his ramp as SOS forces up himself here.
Okay, we have a huge drop here in the main. Now, this might be enough if he can keep this army together and use his stims correctly and micro well. I think actually INnoVation can still come out on top in this fight.
Oh my God, these adepts being blown up very, very quickly. He's going to chase down the SCVs of
he's going to murder all the workers in the corner over here.
If INnoVation can somehow squeeze this one out, Tastes, that is going to be a magnificent victory
for
him.
About 40 SCVs killed there. That was all the workers. Okay, I'm sorry, there's still about 7 more here. But INnoVation here can actually shut down any production here, which means that the only army that SOS has is the one that's in the base right now of INnoVation. Now, that being said, he can still take out all the core structures, maybe scramble back home. And can he hide a nexus somewhere, perhaps?
Well, he's got a force field. A beautiful force field goes off here. That will buy him quite a bit of time.
This is a very Marauder-heavy army, I want to point out, so there's a little bit more beef to it. Well, it's harder to dice up than a normal, Marine Marauder mix.
Well, the Marines are actually, for the most part, getting picked off here. So that does keep the mothership core a little bit more safe. He is making an additional cannon.
I believe we have a command center landed in the lower center right, while the rest of the structures are flying over here. Yeah, SOS just needs to, I think, go back home. Okay, one CC over here at the north. Another one right there on the east.
A crazy base trade to start out the day here. Even a couple of Vikings going through. Ooh, I love those Vikings right now.
Yeah, that's really smart. Now, I think the sentries are going to be I was about to say, are going to be the thing that will allow him to possibly win this game. He's buying enough time for his army to get back home.
This micro right now is pretty fantastic as well by INnoVation. He goes down the ramp, the force field comes, and he picks things up, brings them back up.
Missed force field. But in that amount of time, it's enough for that army. We just see now at the top of our screen, SOS's army now merging in with the rest of this.
6 mules being dropped right at this instant for INnoVation, trying to get his mining going again. Very little left over, though.
That's it, GG! SOS takes game number 1.
And there you have it. This is what the series opens with, a wild base trade situation. That was a great force by INnoVation, the base trade, because SOS got way, way, way ahead with the initial moves, the initial build order, and that is something that you don't see. That is not a standard play out of SOS, to get those 2 forges and then send the prism across with glaives and kind of like really play that slowly, but he was very reactive, very solid play coming out of SOS here.
Really, really well handled. I like the opening with the War Prism coming out, putting some pressure, but at the same time, 2 forges behind it. So the War Prism play was never intended to be a closer.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, the moment that INnoVation decides to push out, the War Prism just happens to be there. SOS says, okay, I'll take it.
He has an observer sitting there watching for anything moving out. He knows when to move in. He stalls out on his third base because he knows INnoVation has an army out on the map. Even makes an Immortal. I believe he even canceled Thermal Lance to squeeze that Immortal out to make sure he'd take no damage.
Yeah.
This was a beautifully planned and beautifully played game by SOS. But INnoVation, with his overwhelming skill, makes it close anyways.
INnoVation with a very generic Terran opener. Seemed like a little bit of a feeler build on some level. Just pushing out.
He was looking for a greedy SOS.
Yeah, he thought, okay, SOS hasn't proxied anything. Let's see, he's probably going to be taking a third up here or around this point in time, so I might as well push, and SOS turned the game on its head, as SOS does. Now, game number 2 is going to be on the map Abyssal Reef, and Abyssal Reef is a map that really does allow for any conceivable game.
It truly does. You can have the biggest, craziest macro games here, and there are a ton of rushes from Protoss because the terrain can be tough to handle against Terran, and then from Terran because the terrain can be great against Protoss.
All right, we are now going into game number 2. SOS versus INnoVation. SOS with a 1-0 lead in this GSL Code S Finals.
Season 3, Code S.
In the bottom right, in the blue, our Protoss player, he is
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
in the upper left. In the red, our Terran player, he is
INnoVation.
Excited to see what these guys are going to be busting out. Of course, again, this is a map where you can do a very cheesy play as Terran, siege up that natural expansion before Protoss really has what they want. But will that be what we see out of INnoVation? Doesn't necessarily have to be. You can definitely play a standard macro game here. Liberators can become very strong a little bit later on.
I actually like the quick expand here by SOS, because I feel like if I was INnoVation, I'd be pretty sure SOS was going to do something sneaky here. Oh, it's a laser.
Another player who will be at BlizzCon alongside INnoVation and possibly SOS.
So, I think the opening here, by the way, SOS, you can see combing through the map to just try to make sure there isn't anything proxied here by INnoVation. But SOS also going in a one-on-one map for a quick expand build. Not always what you expect from a player like SOS, right? He's very much somebody who is abusing that, but I think SOS is getting to the point where he's now playing around the way people view his own play style. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, he can open up with some macro plays. Hell, he added those 2 forges in the last game, making that build, which easily, when I saw him throw down the glaive upgrade, I was like, oh, he's going to go like a 7 or 8 gated Deptol, and then he added 2 gases. I'm like, I guess not, you know?
Yeah.
He's definitely got that flexibility in him.
Okay, the Reaper now comes up. The depth there to keep it zoned back. And we have a Star game coming out here. Again, this is all pretty standard for both sides, really.
Do you see how much INnoVation is scouting?
I know, it's kind of crazy.
He is so
My
paranoid
eyes keep
right
following that probe moving around the map. He's basically checked every edge of the map, even some parts closer to the middle.
Can't really get into the main base. Good micro here by SOS so far.
I think this is one of the things that we may end up overlooking if we don't mention it now, but it's probably paramount to the success of SOS that you at least keep them in the dark as long as possible, even if you're not doing anything weird.
Yeah.
You have to keep them guessing, because SOS tends to have the weirdest games, basically out of anybody.
Yeah.
I know Hero's known for doing a lot of great timings, and he's really refined that to a more solid Protoss, but SOS, you just don't know. Okay, now here we go. He slipped through the cracks.
The longer you can keep him in the dark, more likely he is to play defensively.
Exactly.
So he gets to see pretty much everything that's going on. Ooh, even gets by with that Reaper. A little bit of a mistake there by SOS. Will he actually use the Oracle? Yeah, gonna go ahead and snipe that off. He knows it's on the ways anyways, so Not
we
the
also
biggest
have
loss.
second Oracle being produced here.
Looks like this guy flew in from LA to watch
wow.
us.
Welcome.
It's a great reason to go to Korea is to watch SOS versus INnoVation.
Well, I mean, I'm so happy with the finals that we have. This is really one of the most hype ones you can get, right? Two very different playstyles, two very different narratives.
Yeah. Like, I was not joking. This could end up being one of our greatest finals ever when you think about who these players are, what this means to both of them right now. Ooh, I love the hallucinated Oracle coming in. That can drag. Oh my God, there's 3 Oracles, one of which is not real. That one is to Johnny mine hits.
Oh, I love this so much. Now, I don't know if he wants to fly in there right now anyways with a Viking present. Okay, just goes in for a tag.
You're it, INnoVation.
I love that, though, the hallucinated Oracle. It's really, especially in a game where you already see some Oracles being made, right? Mm-hmm. You see what you think, oh, he's trying to trick me into thinking I'm going Oracles, and that's why it's like, I'm going Oracles anyways. I'm actually insane.
Third base, third Oracle.
Yeah.
Are we watching SOS play PVZ?
No, that's going to be the 4th one, right? That's the 4th one that just came out, yeah.
And a Void Ray. That's to hit the Spore and tank from the Queens.
Yeah, he's banked up a lot. Now, you got to remember with Oracles, they're kind of a funny unit that win fights at an exponential level where...
Yeah.
I remember people messed with this a lot right when it came out, and then people stopped doing it and treated it more like this technical unit. But the fact... Okay, hold up.
All right.
Oh, my God. Is he going to get him a more finishes? No stim. No stim.
Gigantic denials here by SOS.
The choice to go for that over workers is huge.
Now, in the meantime, look at this. He is killing add-ons left and right.
Is that the strat?
That's
Was
the
this
strategy.
what we were supposed to be doing all along? Is this the answer?
God.
I don't understand this game anymore.
Look at this setup, though, that INnoVation's getting. Bunkers, turrets, all this stuff.
And look, with that many Oracles, he just sits over the production and everything melts when it pops out.
Well, eventually they are going to have to turn off, right?
I'm like, no, they're fine.
Yeah, they're just sitting
they're
forever.
okay.
It's okay. It's cool.
It's cool.
But how do you clear this push? Like, he's going to lose his natural Nexus.
I think you ditch it. You just back up.
You just kill this.
You're gonna win with an upgrade advantage eventually. Look at this guy.
Oh, he almost gets that.
Void Ray's on the tanks. Oh, this is an overextension, I think.
Oh, but there's nothing attacking this Void Ray. The siege tanks. He got the siege tanks. Tasteless. There's some more siege tanks. Are you kidding me? The Nexus is alive.
I can't believe
this.
Oh
my God. Everyone was like, oh, it's going to be 4-2 for INnoVation, 4-1 for INnoVation. Well, SOS's Nexus is still alive right now, and he killed a bunch of add-ons with Oracles.
And the little outpost he made with the 2 bunkers and the turret, that's just a giant paperweight right now.
That is a ghost town. Oh, my God. They used to mine coal at those bunkers, man. No more.
No more, my friend. Now, sort of half-hearted harass here that will, even though if he gets the Void Ray, it results in 1 less medevac, and I think we actually have SOS just going for it, man. Now there's 2 huge widow mines there, but the connects are not premium.
Now in come the Adepts here, and they start to shred quite a few SCVs, going after some Marines as well.
This was a play that was actually worth it. It's always okay to trade Adepts into basically anything.
Well, they did a great job here. He killed a lot of units. He got 2 Widow Mines. Yeah, he lost some Oracles, but at this point in the game, I don't think he really cares. He's sitting here on 3 bases.
That was an attempt to cut the throat of INnoVation by getting right on top of production, but he can also just push up here and try to shut down the natural as well, which should be much easier than what he just tried to do earlier.
Oh, God, nothing is going right for this Terran player, man. Having a really tough time at the moment. Adept shading into his natural. Some more Widow Mines coming out and burrowing.
Stim is just now finishing, by the way. The biggest moment in this game was actually when Stim was shut down via the Oracle harass there.
The amount of add-ons he killed actually was magnificent.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about that, but I think we're not gonna have time to talk about it in this game until it's done. You know, he's slowly driving this back, but I mean, INnoVation is bleeding off too many of his own technical units for these really the Adepts are very, very basic units, right? I mean, you're kind of okay losing Adepts as long as you're trading them into anything.
Man, I mean, look at how crazy these two games have been so far from SOS. He's doing such a fantastic job. INnoVation trying to hold on. He takes his third base. He's muling it up. Has mines spread around, but the Adept pressure, will it ever stop? I don't think so.
Well, the thing is, he can keep shaving off SCVs. I mean, we already just saw 14 SCVs killed. It's 68 probes to 43 workers, or 43 SCVs, excuse me. INnoVation in very bad shape, and SOS can continue to mount a bigger and bigger lead. And really, INnoVation's not allowed to harass SOS until this Adept harass stops. I mean, we already saw what happened when INnoVation tries to leave his base at all. SOS goes in there and starts throwing punches.
He gets him. Dude, right now, SOS taking that fourth base, is getting Blink, Thermal Lance, 2 Colossus at a time, adding another Forge. Meanwhile, INnoVation, like, he has a good army, right? But can he actually move out and kill him? Because when these Colossus are actually out, he's going to hold all of this stuff pretty easily, I would say.
Yeah, INnoVation might have to go for like a Beyond style win, right? Where he just has very good trades with everything and the game snowballs.
This might be his one chance, right? He's got a big army. He's got a lot of mines.
Yeah, well, definitely with good mine hits, he can change the landscape of this game immediately.
Ooh, SOS is out of position right now, actually. His force is outside his natural instead of his third.
Okay, there is a Colossus in here with this mix. Pylon cannon's activated. He has an observer over there, right? Am I crazy?
I don't see the observer right now.
Okay, I might be wrong then. Because really, it's those Widow Mines that are the biggest threat.
No Thermal Lance quite yet for this
Whoa,
Colossus. Oh my God!
Misplay!
What?
Oh, he kept it alive! I can't believe that.
6 health.
You saw INnoVation panic too with the last 2 Marauders. Right-clicked on them, and SOS arced it perfectly.
Well, having Maru on his team, this man knows exactly how to dodge Marauders at this point with the Colossus.
The only real remaining foothold that Terran has here is his position on the low ground with a few mines there to try to deny any further damage that can be dealt. And I love how SOS is still using this Colossus, but mostly juking forward and then pulling back to see if he can't fish Marauders into overextending.
And it's just beautiful play here so far. He's going to have 3 or 4 Colossus here in just a moment. Blink is going to be finishing up. He's got that +2 on the way. Now, INnoVation, I like what he's trying to do here. He's trying to put on some pressure, keeping those mines very, very close as well.
You know, the problem is that even though he's denying mining at this base, I don't know if he's really inflicting enough damage here to slow SOS down. Now, this is pretty big. If he can actually get rid of the Robos, since the Colossus is really the core unit that stops the Terran from pushing forward. But once again, at the last second, SOS just keeps that alive as well.
INnoVation flying into the main base, so really trying to get his multi-pronged harassment on. Oh, that pylon is powering too much!
If only we had a word for a pylon like this, we could describe it so much better. But I don't know if he's going to get it, man. I don't know.
Well, it looks to me like INnoVation is afraid of the Artosis pylon.
I think he
does not target it even for a moment.
So he flies back out. Oh, there's one Marauder there.
That was a lonely place to be.
Yeah, that was a bad way to die if you're a Marauder. Supplies right now, SOS is nearly maxed out, and all he needs to do is clean up the rest of this harass, and I think he might try to push out and deny the 4th base. But we're at that next level of Terran pushing where Liberators are involved.
And the Liberators, I mean, this makes a very hard-to-push area, but there's only 1 Widow Mine underneath.
Look at this. Look at this. He ditches it. SOS says he doesn't need to mine from that. He has enough. He's not going to let INnoVation stall this game out.
This, I guess, gives INnoVation a chance for a base trade, and I think he's just got to take it. You can't go home and chase right now.
Right,
that's
and
for sure.
I think immediately INnoVation knows what's coming for him. Now, is this going to work? INnoVation has parked his whole army on the high ground. He says he will not lose his main.
Dude, this might work out.
Actually slowly bullying his way up into the main here. If he gets in the main and there's not enough orbits, oh my God, last second force field there. INnoVation needs to drop over here on top of this.
Oh, with the Liberation Zones coming down as well. A beautiful move by INnoVation, going right for the throat in the main base. SOS going to be able to kill the expansions of INnoVation, but is that enough? He's losing everything at home.
This is an example of INnoVation knowing exactly how to do a base trade. He identifies right away the fact that all he has to do is keep his main production buildings alive, and he can slowly push out later and save his bases over there. INnoVation also parks everything in his main. Perfectly.
Yeah, he's going to stay alive no matter what.
SOS has to go back.
And he keeps setting up new liberation zones, chasing down the actual army here of SOS on the other side of the map.
Okay, hold up. This army's getting cleaned up. I think the advantage that SOS garnered this game is gone.
Yeah, you are certainly right about that. This base trade was really a great thing for INnoVation.
GG! INnoVation takes game 2. Oh my God, this series is insane.
It truly is, and I gotta say, SOS was certainly in a lead that game when he walked out for that base trade, but that was not the right call, it seems, for him, Tasteless. There was only one Widowmine and 2 Liberators with Bio against, like, how many Colossus? 3, 4 Colossus, a ton of Stalkers, plus 2 Adepts. I think he could have just broken that push and continued to play the macro game, but you know, as soon as that base trade started, man, INnoVation was on him.
Dude, the speed at which he tore into the main, the moment INnoVation identified what was going on, he could not have gotten to that main faster. Shut down all the warp ins. SOS scrambling. I thought SOS's move strategically was very smart to try to just give up on mining from that base and try to come in here and with a closer, but INnoVation was so fast.
Yeah.
He wasted no time.
The speed with which he got up the ramp into the main base and just slaughtered everything. What are you supposed to do as SOS at that point? Even if you have mining economy, you can't spend your money.
Yeah. Really, really impressive play by INnoVation, and one where, I mean, both of the games that we had back there are like, 1 in 1,000 games, right? It very specific points where they're both wiping each other out in a certain way, and you could see, I just love the handling of INnoVation back there.
Yeah.
He was pretty much down for most of that game.
Yeah, he really was.
He was basically behind it trying to make what he had work, and he had this one moment, and if he did not execute that perfectly, he probably would have lost that game.
And SOS, he was the decision maker there. He was like, okay, let's do this. I'm attacking you. Let's see what you do. If INnoVation chases SOS there, I think SOS wins 100%.
Yeah.
INnoVation goes for the throat. He gets the win. That's 2 games in a row now where SOS gets ahead and the base trade occurs. Will that continue?
We'll be right back, and when we do get back, we'll go to game number 3. Stay tuned.
언제나 변함없는 이 맛이 좋다. 시원하다. 칠성 사이다가 좋다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
언제 어디서나 깔끔하고 상쾌하게.
이런 게 트래비 스타일.
Stylish sparkling water. 트래비.
언제나 변함없는 이 맛이 좋다.
깔끔해.
칠성 사이다가 좋다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
GSL에 오면 최악의 판코스가 됩니다. 김유진의 그 반짝이 어디 간 겁니까? 이렇게 또 무너집니까?
Would you say we're doing alright? Or would you change this life for another? No. Do you run or stay and fight? And go on your own or stay together? As we all fall in line, we're blind in our hearts, chasing the shadows that lead our way. When everything comes to an end, we bow to you, the frail, the bruised, who start anew. When everything comes to an end, you play the fool, the painful truth is told through you. And there's a flicker in your eyes, neither light or dark, gray or color. No, and I might strike you as unkind when I shut my eyes while you suffer. Will we all fall in line when light has been lost, casting the shadows that lead our way? When everything comes to an end, we bow to you, the frail, the bruised, who start anew. When everything comes to an end, you play the fool, the painful truth is told through you. Are you falling out of life in a sudden glimpse of light, on and on forever? Are we running out of time, or are we running for our lives? Is that alright?
최악의 프로토스가 됩니다. 독재자 이시계요 여기가 끝입니다.
Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S Final.
And we're back here at the GSL Code S Finals. I believe we are going to be going to another quick interview here. Before we start game number 3, if you're just now joining us, man, you're missing out. The first 2 games were so good.
They were sick.
I don't think it's going to slow down at all.
2017 핫6 GSL 시즌 3.
This is a magnificent finals already.
Yeah. It's really impossible to tell who's going to take this. These guys are so close, and every game is coming down to the wire.
이 분위기가 이어지는지 확인해
It's
보기
completely
전에
packed here in our
먼저
studio.
블리즈컨으로
I
가는
believe we've
마지막
also we rented out
8명을
what the floor space in
확정지을
B1 or
중요한
something like
시기에
that. So there's additional
GSL
people down there.
Apparently there's rooms in B1.
I thought that was a parking lot, but I guess we never actually go down to
오늘
B1 in this building.
결승전에
But
오른 김유진
anyways,
선수와
Guys, don't forget GSL Super Tournament is coming up. This is unbelievably important. As that video showed you, everyone down to Rogue at this moment still has a chance to qualify for BlizzCon.
That's right.
Depending on who wins tonight, that can change, but
9월 28일 목요일부터 10월 1일
sorry.
일요일까지 프리업 스튜디오
Regardless, tomorrow it's the qualifiers.
Right.
These 2 have seeds, so that means 14 spots remain.
The Super Tournament is our new,
그리고
in a sense,
제
experimental
양옆에
tournament where we're having
이
these
두 선수에게
marathon,
최고의
sort of like you see like in an IEM or
응원기들
some of these other
두 분을
overseas
저희가
events,
모셨는데요.
DreamHacks,
자,
where
두 선수의
we go through an entire
가족을
series of our tournament very
맞이해
quickly.
주시기
That's what we're doing here at the
바랍니다.
Super Tournament. We've already had one. It was an absolute blast. So don't miss out. That'll be after the GSL
네,
Finals.
먼저
Now we'll be interviewing the family members of the
어머니를
players.
모셨습니다. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다.
This is SOS's mother.
Oh my god. He looks just like his mother.
Yes.
어머니 1년 만입니다. 작년 결승전 이후로 딱 1년 만인데 지난해에는
It's been a
아쉬운
year.
준우승이었습니다.
1 year ago,
많이
SOS made it to the
아쉬우셨죠?
finals, but unfortunately, he was defeated by Beyond and became the runner-up.
정말 기대를 많이 하고
Yes.
와가지고 준우승
I remember it at the Children's Grand Park.
아니 너무 많이 아쉬웠어요. 그래서 올해는 마음을 비우고 편안하게
He
왔는데
got second place.
유진이를 사랑하는
It was
팬분들
very
보니까 여전히
tough for me
떨립니다.
to see. Very disappointed. And I know there's a lot of people that came down here today to support him.
참 김유진 선수가 어머니를
So I'm
닮아서
grateful
이렇게
for those of you who
게임을
came down and
잘하는 것
support my
같아요.
son.
항상 심리전도 잘 쓰고 또 기발한 빌드들도
So,
잘 보여주시는데 이런
SOS is
모습
great
보면
with the
어렸을
mind
때부터
games and the
굉장히
strategy.
똑똑했을 것 같거든요. 어떤가요?
네,
He must have been a really bright boy when he was growing up.
조금 남다른 그게 있었어요. 조기 입학해서 뭐
He was an
사진도
unusual boy.
솔직히 없었고 돈 사진도 없었고 유치원 졸업 사진도 없었어요. 저희
He actually entered
유진이는.
school earlier than normal.
뭐 졸업하고 다음 단계 가려고 하다가 유치원 졸업도 안 하고 1년 더 유치원 다니는 것도 안 다니고 학교로
He was
입학하고
super
이러다
cute and
보니까
awkward. He wouldn't
그
take photos
사진들이
for anything
없는데 그
memorable,
사진
like
아무 소용
like school
없습니다.
photos
팬
and stuff
여러분들
like that.
앞에서 이렇게 세계적으로
But I guess we
인사를
don't need those
하는데
photos now.
너무너무 고맙습니다.
Because he's made his mark on the world. And everybody knows his face now.
어렸을 때부터
That was very sweet.
수다였군요. 자, 그런데 보면 별명들만 봐도 항상 이렇게 세고 강한 그런 별명들이 많아요. 김유진 선수 평상시 어떤가요? 이런 센 그런 면이 있는지 궁금하네요.
아니요,
He's
전혀
always been given very
없어요.
strong
동네에서도
nicknames.
보면은 꼬마 대장을
What is his
하면서도
personality
너무
like?
착한 형님 오빠로 이렇게 애들을 거닐고 다녔고 형님들한테는
He's
심부름도
usually a
너무
good leader around
잘하고
younger
그리고
kids.
시골에서 태어나서인지 뭐
He's also very
제사나
kind to his
추석,
friends.
뭐 명절 이런 거 시사 산에서 지내는 시절까지 너무너무
And because he
잘
grew up in a
챙기는
very
그런
small
온순하고
town.
착한 애인데
He's-
팬들이 과격한 별명을 많이
He's very good to his
불러주시는데
parents.
저도
And
댓글을
very kind
보거든요,
elderly people.
엄마로서. 근데 우리 팬들이 유진이한테 정말 이렇게
I
관심이
was searching
많으니까
the internet what people say about my son. Oh no.
주는구나 싶어가지고 정말 즐겁게
there's some bad things as
받아들입니다.
well.
다음부터는 그래도 조금 낮춰주세요.
But that's the kind of attention you get when you get big.
Now remember that,
So don't write any more bad comments about my son.
Some people's moms check their ID.
Whenever you say something mean about somebody on the internet, remember that they have a mom that might read that. Yeah.
힘이 되는 메시지
Hope you
부탁드릴게요.
nerds feel dirty now.
유진아 지금까지 걸어온 것만큼 참신하고 침착하게 네 잘하는 거 한 방으로
He
끝내지는
says any strong
못하더라도
words you want to give your son?
두방
SOS, my son, you can do this.
우승이라는 큰 선물을 팬들과 우리 가족들 스텝
Do what you do
팀에
best.
안겨줬으면 좋겠다. 유진이 화이팅!
And hopefully you'll become a champion tonight.
감사합니다. 어머니 다시 한번 감사드립니다.
All right, that's going to do it for that interview.
네.
I like the...
She's out this
the
macro
mom
she
calling
said.
out the haters.
영수가 좋겠는데요.
The mom whose DNA produces some of the greatest builds in StarCraft 2.
지난 결승 때
Now let's meet one of the family members of INnoVation.
오늘은 아주 잘생긴 남동생이 나와주셨는데요. 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
Last time we met INnoVation's sister, now we're going to meet his brother.
네, 자기소개 좀 부탁드립니다.
신영이 형 동생 이민형입니다.
네, 몇 번째 동생이세요?
I'm INnoVation's little brother.
아,
이민형.
정말 대가족이죠. 자, 오늘
I'm his sixth brother. So there's 7 kids in INnoVation's family. Even the family's good at macroing their
Oh my
doses.
God, yes.
그런 형 보면 어떠세요?
형 되게
So this is your brother's fourth
사랑스럽고
finals. How is it for
결승도
you?
많이 와서 재밌고 좋습니다.
오늘 제가 얘기를 들으니까 동생도
I'm very proud of my brother.
아마추어 게임 대회에
And I
나갈
really
만큼
enjoy
게임
watching
실력이
him play.
아주
I'm cheering for him.
출중하다고 들었거든요.
네.
형의 영향을 받은 건가요?
So you are also very good at
어렸을
games, is that
때부터
correct?
형이랑 게임을 자주 해가지고 그런 면
Yep, I've been participating in some tournaments.
그래요. 항상
Growing
이신영
up, I played a lot of
선수를
games with my brother.
게임을 굉장히 완벽하게 하고 또 그래서 카리스마도 있는데 평상시에 이신영 선수는
INnoVation
어떤
seems to be
편인가요?
playing these perfect games. Do you ever wonder how he
비슷한 것
manages to do
같은데
that?
다른 점은 재미없는 드립을 좀 친다는 점.
아 그래요?
He's pretty much the same in every game.
계속 이렇게 동생들이랑 놀아주나 봐요.
He's not fun to play against at all.
그렇군요. 이신영 선수에게 이런 다정한 면이 있었습니다. 자, 지금 1대1입니다. 정말 중요한 상황이에요. 그쵸? 이신영 선수에게 동생이 이 대가족을
It's 1-1
대표해서
so far.
힘찬 응원 메시지 부탁드립니다.
Any words you'd like to say to your brother
형
before
남은
we start?
경기 열심히 하고 빨리 끝내고 밥 먹으러 가자.
아, 역시
Bro, let's
이신영
finish
선수
this.
가족다운
Let's go
그런
get some
멋진
great
인터뷰였습니다.
dinner afterwards.
감사합니다. 감사합니다.
All right, that does it for the
네.
interviews.
자, 이렇게
I can't get over the fact that SOS's mom is reading.
가족까지 만나봤는데요.
Yeah, that's amazing that
The
she is
haters'
reading the
comments on the internet.
God, I hope those haters just feel so
I want to make a TV show of my own called To Catch a Redditor. And
It's a
whenever
great
people are
idea.
shitposting on the internet, I just want to come around the corner and be like, excuse me, why don't you have a seat right over here?
Then you have their mom there too. You're like,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
see what your son
Did you know
wrote?
your son wrote on the internet?
And then you bring in the mom of the guy.
Yeah.
And he has to read what he wrote about the guy, the guy's mom?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Wouldn't that be
my
a great
God,
show?
It would be a great show.
To Catch a Redditor.
By the way, INnoVation's parents, just as genius as him, 7 kids, statistically speaking, one of them should win a GSL. Like, I mean, come on. This was a great plan. See, now my mom only had 3 kids, so like, I mean, we only got like, 35% chance to win a GSL.
It's not
bro.
as good.
It's just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it. I'm not cutting it.
Yeah.
If only she had a few more, I might be a champion. But what can you do?
You could have had at least one brother that you would have cast and win in the tournament, man.
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea. I knew that INnoVation had several siblings. I didn't realize he was one out of 7 kids in the family. My God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they saw a little baby INnoVation. They're like, we must make more.
That's right.
This one will accomplish
How
great
much
things.
will one depot hold?
How much supply? It's 8, actually.
It's 8, right? There's still room for one more.
No, INnoVation
takes 2 supply. That's right.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay. Game number 3 on Newkirk Precinct. We've had very unusual games. SOS definitely coming in here with a plan, and I think his plans overall have been working out a little bit better, but INnoVation saw an opening in game 2, went for the jugular, and ended it.
That is correct, sir. Newkirk Precinct, a small map coming up. Let's see what SOS has in store.
Fight! 2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the bottom right, in the blue, our Protoss player.
Jin Air Green Waves. SOS.
In the bottom left, in the red, he is.
INnoVation.
There's an SOS sign right in the middle of that INnoVation group.
Well, that is a proxy SOS
That's
fan.
right, it's a proxy fan over there. The Oracle pops out right over there.
Some one-base play coming up here for SOS. We'll have to see exactly what type of one-base play this is. This could just be like a mothership core rush, you know, one of those rally your mothership core to hit Marines and then have a Oracle flying.
From
like
Austria. Thank you for coming down.
Not Australia. Texas Law.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Because I think it was like a week ago. Actually, it happens more than it should. From Brazil, welcome. This happens more than it should. But sometimes I see a sign that says Austria, and I'm like, Australia, that's cool. So this time I was ready. I was like, okay, Tasos, now's your chance to prove that you know that Austria is a country as well. Welcome to the studio. Hope you guys are having great games. We got people from all over the world here. All over the world.
Oh, man. Okay, so the probe is going out right now, and he made a Marine and right into a reactor. So this is actually better for him than if he had gone for a Reaper. If you go for a Reaper against this, because this is just like the mothership core flies over, starts harassing, like you can just start attacking Marines and stuff. I mean, if the probe lives and you can build a pylon, all the better for it, but you start whittling down Marine counts, which are much lower because you normally will go with Reaper into, you know, excuse me, into a reactor. But yeah, this gives him a much better shot at defending everything well.
Okay, well that is not going to work with the pylon over there. Mothership core now moving over here across the map. And we're going to see what he can or cannot scout as this comes in. It looks like INnoVation is more than ready. Marine's already rotating to catch this.
Dude, proxy factory right now by INnoVation. He's making Cyclones.
What? Oh my god, I actually almost would have missed that.
Yeah, this is really well done by INnoVation so
INnoVation
far
with
here.
the mix-ups. It's going to be SOS on the defense.
With the units that SOS has on the other side of the map, like, I do not like this position for him whatsoever.
Oh, okay. No!
That's as bad as it can get.
That's the worst thing that could have possibly happened. The Adept also on the other side of the map, and Oracle moving out here, but the base for SOS is going to take a beating. Okay, hold up. Hold up. He's not been hit by a mine yet.
There is not a mine.
There's no mine there? Is that one of the minerals?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I stand corrected.
I think he was just dodging around the Cyclone. This is just like a lot of Cyclones being made right now. So gets 4 SCVs. That doesn't quite make up for what he has sacrificed himself with his build order. And especially losing that mothership core so early on, it did 0 damage whatsoever.
So once he holds this, INnoVation is going to immediately do a counter push and try to end this. So any bruises these units take is actually pretty important because he's going to have to, SOS will have to use everything he has to try to hold off this attack.
There's not even a pylon at his natural. There is not even a mothership core anywhere. He does have 3 gates, so you can end up holding on with this type of thing. Like if he makes a bunch of, well, he's making adepts here because he is kind of broke here, making so many oracles. But look at this, 4 oracles once again.
As you can see, the push is now starting. Probes are being pulled to try to attack, but of course there's no way those probes can combat the Cyclone, so they are evacuated into the main base. However, there's just a lot of muscle here for INnoVation, especially with Cyclones. Cyclones things start to spiral out of control pretty fast if there's enough Cyclones. The Protoss isn't equipped to deal with it immediately.
Super true. It's super true. But this is a lot. Right? Look at this. He's about to shade on with all these adepts.
Here we go.
Yeah, he's going to be able to take out these Marines very quickly. But will he have enough damage output to actually kill all these Cyclones?
He did not target down the Oracles, although it looks like there's barely enough to keep this attack going onward. Oh, he needs to pull these out!
Ooh, just barely has those survive right there.
Okay,
I think he's going to just straight lose the Nexus, Tasteless, but there's not that many SCVs at home for his opponent.
Okay, 2 Cyclones left.
Oh, maybe
he's beginning to kite. Another Cyclone does come in here.
He's out of Oracle energy, though, and with repair, especially on this Cyclone, 2 more Cyclones coming up to join him.
He's coming in again. Very good targeting here. He can continue to kite like that with the Cyclones.
I feel like he needs to target that SCV down as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
The SCV really can end up giving you a lot of value in a situation like this. Plus, that's one less worker for later.
There you go. Let's really break it down.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, SOS still has a base. He's still mining from it. So even though it looks a little bit scary for SOS, the goal of what INnoVation was trying to do has not been pulled off yet.
Okay, so SOS is getting +1 air attack.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I need to state it because that's not even 4 Oracles. So that means he's planning on making a lot of other flying units. Looks like a Phoenix is on the way. He's got a massive probe advantage right now.
You also got to keep in mind that INnoVation is very hungry to take out that Nexus. That Nexus has about 25% of its HP and shields are regenning. So, whoa, cannot overextend with those.
Gets over that high ground very swiftly, making that 3rd Nexus. That's a danger 3rd Nexus right there.
Yeah, that's actually surprisingly risky. Note he didn't trigger the pylon cannon immediately. He's trying to figure out if INnoVation is going to commit, because INnoVation wants to, on some level, bait out the pylon cannon, regroup, and then attack it again. So a lot of patience here by both sides, I should say. INnoVation now going to come in as the pylon cannon finishes.
Yeah, he has no energy left there on that mothership core.
I think this might be too much. This could be the snowballing point. Phoenix coming in here to pick up and remove a few of these Cyclones. Probes then pulled along with the rest of the fight. The Nexus still remaining.
He's picking off some of these Cyclones pretty well. Those lifts definitely did a good job, but he's going to have to pull back. The Stalkers cannot fight heads up against this many Cyclones. The probes being pulled here again. Uh-oh, 2 Stalkers fall, and that was the bulk of his damage.
He's still picking up with these Phoenixes. A few more Marines coming here to reinforce. Again, if he loses this fight, he'll lose the Nexus and therefore lose the game.
If he only had some more lifts here, he might be able to do it.
He needs to get that last Cyclone. The Stalkers are on the run in the corner. He then targets down the Nexus to force a fight.
Oh, and he might be able to get this Nexus. Another Cyclone comes in, finishes it off here. A huge kill for INnoVation.
GG, INnoVation takes game 3.
Wow, that was another wild back and forth game. SOS getting caught a little bit off guard there.
INnoVation, really well done. He took out that mothership core early on. He had that factory in the right spot. SOS, on some level, not respecting the disadvantage that he was put in.
Yeah.
Taking a 3rd Nexus. Eventually, he was able to break him.
A wild game. I love the fact that he's just continuing to make a lot of Oracles, really bringing in this other style. Yeah. And I love the fact that right now, every Zerg player on Earth is cheering for INnoVation. Unlike in the campaign, it is actually Terran and Zerg against Protoss. They are hoping that SOS cleans INnoVation up with the Oracle so hard right now.
The next map we have is Whirlwind, a very big and very open map. If we're going to have a long game, it should be on this map.
It could be. It could be.
But with SOS, you just don't know.
I think this one can be cheesable. It's rotationally symmetric, so
Correct.
some weird stuff can occur here. Because it's a 4-player map, sometimes you get things like CC first. You know, maybe the most popular build that we've seen in this map from Protoss is just an Adept all-in, just like massive amounts of Adepts going after them. So we'll see what SOS wants to bring out. I mean, INnoVation is aware of all these things I just said. If I'm aware of them, he's aware of them.
That's for sure.
Okay. So let's not beat around the bush here. But here's the real bush, Tasteless, is that SOS is aware that I'm aware, which means that INnoVation must be aware. And being aware that INnoVation is aware means that SOS is going to have something special planned.
You are a poet. I cannot wait. I have no idea what exactly SOS has in store for us. If this game goes on for a long one, it's going to be tough, especially for SOS. INnoVation, his strongest point is when he gets maxed out, really. And then the pushing never stops. Let's see if SOS has any more tricks up his sleeve as we enter game number 4 with SOS versus INnoVation.
2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
upper left in the blue. Our Protoss player, the Protoss player.
Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
Everybody says he's the guy. I want to be the guy too.
INnoVation.
INnoVation is the guy.
Oh, yes, indeed.
By the way, that probe was sent out immediately. We actually have a second probe that's been out here.
2 gases, 1 base.
What's going on?
Well, he's definitely going to proxy something. This probe up here.
Call it a hunch. These probes are made to build something, Artosis.
Probably.
Now you're stacking a lot of minerals early on by sending workers out that fast, but of course...
Oh, SOS doesn't need those minerals.
He doesn't need... Yeah.
This is very well planned, Tasteless. He's not doing this off the cuff.
Okay, the second probe is coming up. It is incredibly important that nothing is spotted here. Part of the strategy behind what we're seeing SOS do is you never think there's going to be 2 probes on the map because as far as the economics go, it's foolish. There's the GSL trophy just right outside the ramp. That's whenever I see that thing,
it actually looks like the old GSL trophy,
yeah.
The one that Nesty had a backpack for.
That's right. So with the 2 probes out, one he wants to keep in close proximity so that INnoVation will discard the possibility of a proxy. However, it did not find that probe, and so it will come up here and actually find the proxy. I almost think it would have been better for SOS to sack the probe. Do you know what I'm saying? Let the Reaper kill it so that you don't expect this to happen. Oh,
but what about that, Tasteless?
Yeah, what about the taking out the SCV, making the command center?
You know what SOS is thinking right now? Nobody thinks like me, not even Tasteless.
Now, of course, knowing is, half of it here for INnoVation. Really, I think this has taken a lot of the wind out of the sails for SOS's play. At least as far as the efficacy of the proxy.
I agree with that. Definitely, if it gets scouted, it's not as strong. But in a way, look, he's making a bunker, but there's no mothership core on the way, right? That's what the bunker is kind of against. Oh, he's gonna get that too. That's a really nice pickup.
Great
but
control.
that right there, that bunker is against pylon rushes, but there is no pylon rush coming.
Look at this.
Maybe.
I think it's the SCV.
And this is way delayed too, because the SCV he sent down, he immediately started building a bunker. So he didn't restart constructing that command center for quite some time. So there are some nice aspects to what this has done still, even though it hasn't killed a whole lot.
Turret placed very well. Important to note is that when you're about to send your Oracle into their base, any damage you get on the Marines is pretty good before that happens, like with the Adepts, because Oracles can kill things so quickly. We do not have a second unit being made out of the Stargate. So it seems like SOS is going to, from here on out, basically ditch utilizing the proxy, hoping that maybe INnoVation will somehow or misinterpret the situation and over-defend.
Well, he's just going glaives and adding some gates right now. And what he's scouted is just that Stim is on the way, and there's 2 barracks. So, it's like not bad what INnoVation is doing, but the fact that he is just going mass gateway glaive, that's going to pair up pretty well against just some Marines with no tech units.
That's right.
He's not going to have a Widowmine. He's not going to have a Cyclone.
Stim's under halfway done.
Yeah. There's still time for this Oracle to kill Stim.
Oh, God, we got to talk about that in Game 2. We were joking about this on break, but when we saw the 4 Oracles go inside...
And just kill add-ons?
The main base, and, look, everybody who's watching this right now, every other pro gamer in the world would be like, well, what you do is you go over the workers. And SOS is like, no, you get Stim. We were watching this, I'm like, is that
all the add-ons?
Yeah, you just kill all the add-ons. I'm like, well, I don't understand anything about this game anymore. This is crazy. Now, coming out here with these Marines, let's see how far he pushes forward here, but you want to be careful because since SOS is gearing up for a pretty scary attack, you want to make sure you keep all your units in one piece, and I actually think this is a mistake.
He sold his bunker. SOS is he's gonna get some sick damage here.
And look at this, he's going for this pylon, unaware of a second proxy pylon in his midst.
There is no bunker at the moment. He doesn't have the right amount of adepts quite yet. But he can catch those Marines coming back, I guess, unless he wants to go in on top of it right now. He's got like 7 adepts, I think.
I thought this attack was going to commence right before Stim finished. I misread that it actually could basically happen. It happens as Stim does finish. But still, with no medevacs here, these adepts coming forward and many more warping in. You can see INnoVation trying to target down each individual adept. And now, while he's on the run, INnoVation's going to try to come in here and close it out.
Oh, he's trying to get on top of everything. A Marauder coming down. That Marauder really can make it a lot harder for him to finish here.
Great cancel on the shade, by the way.
Yeah, certainly. Starting to pick off some SCVs. That's definitely something he needs to get done right now. INnoVation has a worker lead.
Now he might want to try to get. Oh, he's going to go right on top of this army.
All right, he needs to try to make sure he's not hitting Marauders too much here.
Yeah. Well, the Adepts are starting to come out on top. Looks like he was okay with targeting down a lot of these SCVs. With the Adepts on top of the depots, the rest of the Adepts can come in. And I think this may be game, in fact. This looks like there's too many. A very good splitting here of the Adepts. He took out everything in the expansion and also forced an opening here at the entrance. Already about 30 workers have been picked off. And I think this game is starting to snowball into an SOS victory.
Yeah, it really looks that way, Tasteless. 45 workers going down. GG is called. SOS ties it up 2-2.
Insane series here. That last game was a story of doubles.
Oh my God.
2 probes out on the map.
One Oracle.
INnoVation thwarts that. Then it's 2 proxy pylons, not 1.
Yeah.
INnoVation. Not, I think
2 shots from an adept and 1 more damage to kill a Marine.
You know what's funny about it is that if you look at it, the way that game was unfolding, the fact that SOS stopped making additional oracles and things out of the Stargate, to INnoVation, that was SOS telegraphing that in fact he's not going to be aggressive any further. When really SOS switches into a full-on Plan B all-in. With mass adepts, he had everything positioned well, and it was one of these games where he carved out a position where INnoVation never gets to go to late game, never gets to utilize his actual strength. SOS is strategic genius.
Yes, indeed. He scouted that. That's what made him do this build as well. The Oracle got in, saw 2 barracks, there's no tech. It's like, well, Adepts are pretty good against no tech. Let's go for that.
So tied up 2-2 right now. It's still anybody's game. We've had a big variety of different plays coming out of these 2 guys as well. INnoVation in game 3 with his own proxy build, throwing SOS off. SOS not respecting the bad position he was in. Then SOS doubling down in the next game and beating INnoVation in his own strat from game 3.
In our next 3 maps, we have Odyssey, a map on which SOS has come up with some of the most dastardly PvT strategies that we've ever seen.
Dastardly indeed.
Dastardly. Double gold base, only charge lot Oracle all in? Does anyone remember this game? It's crazy. Double robo all-ins.
Yeah.
SOS has crazy builds for that map. And then we have Ascension of Ire, our biggest map overall. And then Acolyte, the map of madness for PvT. I mean, even Neeb goes carriers there, okay?
Yeah.
That's an SOS map if I've ever heard one.
It's still anybody's game. I think we are going to go all the way to game 7, by the way. It's been so back and forth.
Meant to be.
The series is a pendulum so far, Tosis.
We don't get a lot of GSL finals. We get a lot to game 6, but game 7, that is
very
a rare sight.
I think we're sizing up to have one of those right here, right now. We are going to go to a short break. When we come back, we'll go on to game number 5 in the GSL Code S Finals.
What's killing me? Ready to roll, ready or not, ready to give it all I've got.
언제 어디서나 깔끔하고 상쾌하게.
이런 게 트래비 스타일.
Stylish sparkling water, 트래비.
끝없는 악몽의 시작. 블러드시티 에버랜드.
언제나 변함없는 이 맛이 좋다. 시원하다. 칠성사이다가 좋다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
왜 이렇게 X 생겼냐?
가슴 짱네.
게임 쓰레기처럼 하네.
니다 같은
칼로 죽여버리고 싶다. 사람이 많이 부정적으로 변하더라고요.
사람을 마주치기가 좀 무섭고
어디론가 숨고 싶었고
정말 죽고 싶죠.
여자로서 굉장히 수치심이 느껴졌고
밥도 잘 못 먹고 잠도 잘 못 잤어요.
당신이 작성한 한 줄의 악성 댓글 누군가에겐 평생 상처가 됩니다.
날카로운 면도날이 이중 윤활 밴드를 만나다 시원함까지 더해진 당신의 면도. 쿨링을 더한 프로실드 7로 당신의 면도를 부드럽고 시원하게. 질레트 프로실드 7, 남자를 위한 최상의 선택.
언제나 변함없는 이 맛이 좋다. 깔끔해. 칠성사이다가 좋다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. GSL 오면 최악의 프로포즈가 됩니다. 김유진의 그 반짝이 어디 간 겁니까? 이렇게 또 몰아주니. 김유진의 그 반짝이 어디 간 겁니까? 최악의 프로포즈가 됩니다. 독재자 이시기요, 여기가 끝입니다. 2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S Final. 2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S Final.
We're back, and it's tied up 2-2. So far, this is sizing up to be possibly the best finals we've ever had in GSL Code S. How many finals have we had now? Like 30 or something?
Oh, more than that. This is tournament number 33, I want to say.
33.
Maybe I'm off by like 1, but it's right around there.
Game number 5 is going to be on the map Odyssey. After that, Ascension to IR. And if we do go to game number 7, which I think we will, it'll be on Acolyte.
All 3 of these maps can make for some craziness. Let me say something. Odyssey's not going to be a macro game. Something wild's about to happen in this next one. I have no idea in which way it's going to head.
These guys have brought a variety of styles, also pushing the boundaries of the boxes we as viewers occasionally put them in. INnoVation showing he's fine doing proxies. He's fine trying to be deceptive. He'll still lean a little bit more towards what you already are familiar with, defending and doing a macro game. sOs is actually, to be honest, upping the ante on the weirdness of his builds.
Well, there's no box he fits in anyways. He's just like this all-encompassing strategy thing. He's dark matter. He's a pulsating hypersphere, okay? He's everything and nothing all at once.
I love that, yes. We're getting closer and closer to the end of this, and I have no idea who's going to take it. Our game is now loading up. We've had a lot more short games than I expected, but I think on some level sOs is preventing INnoVation getting to the point where INnoVation hits his stride, and I think that's smart. I think that's what he has to keep doing.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tasteless.
This is game number 5, sOs versus INnoVation.
Fight, heaven shall burn, in a cloud of fire we stand. Fight, wings are warm, are you ready to fight?
In the upper left, in the blue, our Protoss player, he is
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
In the bottom right, in the red, our Terran player,
INnoVation.
So let's see if we got a short game on our hands here.
Yeah. Dude, this series has been so good so far.
I know.
I gotta say, I'm kind of jealous of the people who are just getting to watch this right now, because that's like the only thing maybe better than casting this. But then I think about them sitting there watching this, having such a good time. I'm like, you know what? The only thing better than that is casting this, and it's an infinite circle, which is just what SOS wants.
By the way, sOs headed southbound now with this probe to the very bottom left corner at Rutrow.
Well, this could only be 2 things, right? It could be something to trick you out, just be like, hey, I'm missing a pylon. Or it could be like Twilight or DT Tech. You're not going to put a Robo there, and you're not going to put a Stargate there, right?
Watch, he puts both a Robo and a Stargate there, and our minds explode.
He goes Oracle drops. I'm like, what?
It's the first time we ever saw the Oracle go in the Warp Prism. We're like, oh my god, he really knows everything.
Okay, well, there's a Stargate, so...
All right,
I guess you
now we just got to wait for that Robo now, and we'll be good to go.
Reaper is not going to find that, right?
Well, let's see.
Like, are you going to send
INnoVation is definitely going to...
The top side of the map is more likely than... Cause that bottom left, it's so far away. That's like almost as far away as your main base.
Oh my god,
Oh,
he
yes,
takes
it's
the Nexus
time.
there.
It's time!
sOs has
Gold
gone
bases.
full-blown SOS.
Dude, we are going to see... I bet you we see 4 Oracles again. I wonder if he's going to take... The only question for me this game, Tasteless, does he take INnoVation's gold base? That's the only question for me this game, Tasteless.
That's the third base he takes.
And he might.
To quote Wayne's World here, this is... If INnoVation's going to beat SOS, he has to cross all his T's and dot all his I's and also dot his lowercase J's, or he's not going to be able to stop it. Okay, and the Twilight Council, then of course, the location of that, it's more important that if INnoVation scouts him in, he doesn't see it, but hello, gold base. Now, does he continue to scout to the south more? It doesn't look like he does.
Well, he didn't get a scout in the main base, so I guess it kind of makes sense that he doesn't. I love that everything is
Every building's going to be down there.
Just hide everything.
Yeah.
And then when the base trade happens and INnoVation gets in there, he's like, what the hell? There's no tech or gateways here. Wow! He just kills a Nexus and that's it, but it's mined out. There's not even probes there. Good work, INnoVation. You think your base trades are so good, bro?
By the way, the Oracle's coming in now. There's a Cyclone here to try to stop it, and he immediately whips around. Probes now being transferred here to the gold.
By the way, I got to point out that now twice INnoVation has scouted his own gold base. I do have to point that out because that's what's in INnoVation's mind too. He's like, are you going to take my gold base?
Yeah.
This is where it gets really dangerous.
I think the Oracle's coming around now. Excuse me. Just so you guys know, both Artosis and I got sick in between our last ASL cast and this finals. We're actually both still a little bit sick. We have a bunch of Kleenex boxes here.
Tissues everywhere,
Tissues everywhere.
It's like your room when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Your mom comes in, gross, put him in a trash bag.
Put him in that grocery bag I gave you.
Yeah. We don't have a grocery bag, guys, so.
The Reaper is coming over here and could potentially spot this bottom left base, but the Oracle's going to shut that down immediately.
He could do what, Tasteless?
Look at that. That rock has shields. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's why it's a Protoss map.
Clearly it's a Protoss map if some of the rocks have shields. Yeah.
It's got more shields than like a Nexus. What's that all about?
He's got to be careful. Cannot afford to lose this Oracle. Now going over the high ground and tagging that army. And that's very handy, by the way. If you're going to come in with mass adepts, just seeing their position.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it a lot easier. Now the Viking spots the adepts that are coming up here now. The bunker's not finished. The shade has started. The Widow Mine is just now burrowing. Is he going to commit?
I like that cancel of a shade, to be honest. Doing some okay damage here up the front. Delays that bunker a little bit, kills a few Marines.
We should have another mass warp in a second here.
Oh my god. Okay, he got a Forge and didn't start +1 attack. Instead he went +1 armor, which tells me he must be going for charge. Nothing else makes sense.
I think you're right. Well, I mean, think about it. If he got a gold base, he's got such a big influx of minerals.
Dude, he's also taking the third base location as his third.
And now he's taking his natural as his fourth.
Oh my god.
What is this, a Brood War expand build? How is he going to be able to take all these bases at once?
Well,
does he retract the rush entirely, hoping that INnoVation doubles down in defense and
Tasteless.
then SOS explodes economically?
This is crazy, but I see what's happening. This is so brilliant. It's hurting my brain. Oh my god, he's got... Okay, there you go.
Oh my god, it gets it, but also gets the probes. 6 kills there. Now with the medevac retreating, is he going to? He sees this Nexus. Surely INnoVation does not suspect the expansion that's also in between the natural and the gold base. A Liberator now moving out, going across the map. The medevac will be gunned down.
Okay, so I want to talk about what SOS has actually done this game. He opens with Oracle and the gold base, right? This is very cheesy as an opening. INnoVation starts defending everywhere, right? Like he's building bunker, there's turrets going up and everything. Stays on one Oracle. Goes into Glaive Adepts, shows Glaive Adepts, dances around very aggressively. INnoVation continues to defend. 2 Nexuses, macro game from SOS. He is just going to mass Zealots on a scale that no one, not even the leaders of Ire have ever seen.
And what's so insane about this as well is to go halfway into the all-in and completely pull back in macro. Yeah. And really, the tempo here from INnoVation could be so thrown off. We do not see INnoVation. I believe he has no third base up yet.
No.
Whereas
he's just making units. He just started his third command center. He's making units. He's like, I make these units. They're good against adepts.
Meanwhile, there's like no adepts coming here.
No.
Zealot Legs is about to finish.
Dude, the amount of units that SOS is going to have in a couple minutes here, like, his supply is going to skyrocket very shortly.
Now, there's still a window of time here where INnoVation could come in and punish this, and I think that actually would be right around now. So, INnoVation could still thwart SOS's plans on becoming too big to fail here in this game. But
with this many +1 Phoenixes, and I think that SOS actually holds this easily.
You might be right. Many charges. This is just a weird game, guys, overall, because the rhythm of expanding versus teching. Okay, he's coming up now, picks up that Widow Mine, and now the Phoenixes pull in.
All right, let's see how he does this. He picks up all of these Cyclones.
God.
Just shredding
He completely owns this.
INnoVation
is...
Dude, he has
he doesn't even know what's going on. This is one of those games where you'd be like, I don't even know.
He just did it. He just went what with his mouth? He doesn't even speak English. You see that, Tasteless? Kids, SOS making this kid speak in tongues, Tasteless.
I can't believe how much INnoVation's been thrown off here. I actually don't know if you can bounce back from this as INnoVation.
Oh, God.
He's going to go for a huge drop up here, but there are enough Phoenixes. If they get up there in time, of course, then again, if you're going to do a big drop like this, you definitely don't have enough at your at home to defend.
But if he gets one round of speed lots, it kind of really slows down that push. Like, technically, you can kill off those speed lots, but you're, like, really super microing there. So, like, even if this gets a bit base tradey, basically, Zealots are the defensive unit you want.
Okay, you see a mass warp into Zealots here. And Widowmine's burrowing, but really SOS just has to hold this position. Keep in mind, all those gates powered by one pylon.
Oh my. It's a good strategic move.
Note he's splitting up some of these Zealots so they're not all absorbing mine hits. Then the Phoenixes come in, and basically this drop's getting shut down. He wants to try to fish him into the other mine. I don't think SOS is going to bite. It's kind of clear what's happening here.
Just makes a cannon near those.
Yeah.
You just lift all this stuff. Come on. Oh, maybe he used up all his energy. I don't know. No, he has plenty of energy.
No, he was fine. And finally that mine shot is out. So at this point in time, it's been SOS on 4 bases with INnoVation just now getting his third.
That gold is about to be mined out, by the way.
That's right. Well, then he'll probably expand to the bottom left, I guess. He's sort of... He used that gold base perfectly to leverage his position here. Now, INnoVation's a tenacious guy, and I certainly don't think it's going to be easy to close it from here. But it should be easier than a lot of other positions SOS could have gotten this game into, for sure.
Well, if he just keeps his macro up, he's going up into Kloss and all that. He's got just an insane economy. I do worry just because the gold base is running out. So with that, his economy advantage will wear out.
That's right.
So, like, maybe he just takes another base at this point. But yeah, he's like, look at that. He's got +2 armor. That is a fantastic upgrade to have when you're very Zealot heavy.
You know, with the depot wall up here, I don't know, especially with the number of Zealots that SOS has made, I actually don't think that SOS can crush the third. I think he might have to wait for INnoVation to take a fourth and look for an opening there. And by the time INnoVation begins to take a fourth, SOS will be maxed out.
Mine's kind of being split up around the place, barely missing right there.
Yeah, he's got to be careful.
Has the Oracle in here to help tag and see what he needs to see.
Adepts continue to maneuver around here. Now, you've got to be careful. You know, some of these stray units getting picked up. The Protoss army is only strong if it's all together. A lot of Zealots here.
Yes,
with
that
some
is
sentries
so
to help.
He's getting like the craziest ground-pounding force right now.
Check it out, man. He's taking the upper right. He's saying if this goes to a long game, I'm going to mine this out before INnoVation does.
I love this.
This is just...
He's
such a smart player.
He's like in everyone's head so hard.
By the way, if you had to cover up the IDs at the start of this game and show somebody this, say, who do you think the Protoss is? I think you immediately say SOS every time. Only SOS's games can look like this.
Yeah. I don't even...
There's nobody that would ever
reverence
have
with
a game
which
like
we
this.
have to speak about this man, like just watching his play, every time that he's in good shape and hitting high up in a tournament, it's like you just watch and it's like, oh my... You saw INnoVation just be like, what? Like, he just got crushed with that attack. He thought for sure that attack was going to do something.
Now, INnoVation's moving out on the map. He's directly in the center. We're about to see these armies clash into each other. SOS did back up the Zealot army with double Robo. So he has the opportunity to continue to make a lot of Colossi and Immortals if he wants.
Okay, I like what INnoVation's doing right now. Getting Liberator range and making more Liberators. I'd love to see him add more Liberators and play defensively right now. If he goes mass Libs, like Phoenixes technically can kill Liberators, but it's very slow going, actually. I mean, he has a lot and they have +1, so that kind of helps out quite a bit, but it will take a while. So as he builds up that Liberator force, that just becomes problematic for Protoss.
That's very true. It's very hard for them to respond properly to that. The Phoenixes and the Oracle still flying around. Now, that's the tag he needed, by the way, to tag that main army as well as the medevacs, because then there's no surprises coming from the Terran. And, of course, later on in the game, that's the big threat that you have there. Now, the Zealots, by the way, after that charge, they can't retreat easily, so you got to be careful. Yeah, definitely, Protoss cannot engage Terran in this kind of terrain.
He has 4 Phoenixes left, and those are not going to kill for 4 Liberators before they really change the battle quite a bit.
There's enough Widow Mines here. I'm not sure the Zealots can do the kind of damage he wants to do.
Yeah.
That being said, Terran is sort of boxed in here.
Yeah, as long as SOS maintains map control right now, I think he's still in very good shape. Because he does have that base in the top right. That's really, really awesome. Yeah, INnoVation's on 4 bases, but we don't see Ghost Tech yet. Whereas we're about to have Psystorm, right? It's not quite halfway done, but the area has High Templars sitting there waiting. And that is going to add so much value to his army.
Okay, INnoVation is looking for an opening here. He wants to get explosive on the map, and SOS is actually backing up. I think rightfully so.
Ooh. I'm actually really afraid for him right now.
Yeah, I think INnoVation might have enough. As crazy as what SOS did,
yeah.
I think INnoVation has...
The Liberators
he's
have
pumped
range.
enough iron this game.
Yeah.
He might just be too strong.
His Liberators are the scary thing. Everything else is super easy peasy to deal with. It's literally these Liberators could win the battle straight up by themselves. Like, actually, SOS does not have the damage to kill them. But he can maybe kill the army before they make the difference, right?
Note that SOS is not going to try to go for a counter, at least yet. He has not even a small army to counter here, where INnoVation actually has a tiny squad moving up to the north here. Oh, I don't know about this. No, he's got to back up for sure. Blink almost done, by the way.
Dude, he has like +2 on his ship weapons as well. So these Liberators are truly scary right now. Stalkers are not really countering those.
Here we go. Now, keep in mind, INnoVation's maxed out, so I don't think there's anything back home to help him. I mean, so these SCVs cannot be contested. And in some weird way, I think SOS wants to give up some bases, because as long as he doesn't fight right away, you can't make an army to try to stop those Zealots in your main. It's a weird concept, but if you think about it, it makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I guess as you lose SCVs, you can finally make some units.
But that's a good point as well, but still.
Yeah, no, you're quite right. But look, DT Blink is on the way, so I know SOS has got this in the bag, okay? Like, that's the final piece of the puzzle for him right now.
Now, again, it's the army of Terran that's scarier, but Protoss has got economics on his side, has got growth on his side, but I think actually INnoVation might have him boxed in now.
Yeah, this setup,
he just trapped the army.
You can't attack into this many ranged Liberators. It's like impossible to break. You actually need to do a base trade or catch them unsieged, and INnoVation's on.
Here we go. Stalkers now targeting down these Liberators. The Storm's coming down and connecting on this infantry army. Are there enough Stalkers to combat those Liberators? No. Another Stalker warp in comes. SOS has to regroup.
He lost like 5 High Templars in there, and I saw like 1 Storm hit. Oh god, he blinks forward onto these Liberators now. Finally picks them off, and he does hold against this push.
I can't believe he actually fended that off. Now bear in mind, really the beating that was taken back there was from INnoVation, losing so many SCVs at those expansions. His only real viable base is this one just adjacent to his main on the left side.
But Blink DT's tasteless.
Not to mention the top right is still being mined from INnoVation. Never scouted that. You have to expect everything when you're going up against SOS.
Yeah, this is just, it's too wild to even talk about.
Oh my God.
He's actually expanding beyond where SOS's army is right now. Will SOS walk down and see that? He can actually kill that right away.
Yeah, he just shuts us down easily.
Yeah.
Now this army, again, INnoVation cannot imagine a game in which, oh, look at this. He can probably blink around. With the DTs out now, this is going to be so hard for INnoVation trying to get additional bases up.
Yeah, it just blink DTs, a few of them walking around. It's crazy. You just blink out of range when they scan, and bam, you're done.
It's also hard to follow. If you have enough DTs spread out on the map, damage can be dealt all over the place that you might not pick up on immediately. A small army is coming up here at the top.
Now, SOS just lets that go. He's not walking back with his army right now. He's still posturing, and I like that a lot. If you are on your side of the map with your army against mass ranged Liberator, you are asking to lose that game. You're saying, hey, dear INnoVation, please come kill me by getting into position.
Yeah.
You can't allow that to happen.
You want, basically, SOS wants to keep rotating around here and forcing INnoVation to set up these defensive positions. Jesus, man. That is a lot of Liberators, but SOS in a snap call decides he can dive in because the infantry wasn't immediately underneath that.
Yeah,
does take out a good amount of Liberators.
At some point, you do have to fight a little bit, poke some of these out. Oh god, this is just the sieging is super good.
But INnoVation's playing a pretty good chess game. You can see SOS is slowly getting backed across the map. Oh, but look, SOS just, he dives back in. He says, wait a minute. Yeah. Are you going to try to go around the left side? I'm going to come right back where I came from.
So many scans occurring right now. Look at this. Where's that army going?
INnoVation isn't getting mules anytime soon, Artos. Between the DTs and the Protoss' army maneuvering around. Now, this base is very important.
Oh, those Colossus so in a position!
dying! Okay, loses one. Big win there for INnoVation. By the way, the gold base super important here, as even though SOS has been bigger and mining more the whole time, the gold base could give INnoVation a huge boost, especially with infantry.
SOS needs another base, by the way. Just like little status update for him.
In the bottom left. He's trying to take that one that's adjacent to his main.
Oh, I feel like he might have been able to do something there. Good size storm, though.
Yep. Now, this location down here, absolutely, SOS can try to pick a fight at. Thing is, INnoVation only needs one mining base, and it's somewhat easy for him to try to deny, or just to. SOS can't stop the one. Oh my God! I spoke too soon. Look at this. You heard it right click? It's pretty good.
Whoa.
Oh my God! Is he gonna save it? He needs to target that down.
That is too crazy.
Unreal. He actually kept the CC alive. But meanwhile, the DT's up here at the top. All those scans spent trying to monitor the army means there's not enough detection here.
I cannot even.
I can't believe he let that. He could have gotten that too.
That is.
He could have had that.
It is so wild. But the Liberator train continues forward here.
Choo-choo, Artosis.
Oh. Choo-choo indeed, my friend.
Choo-choo. Both CCs were burning down. The gold base, I don't believe, is being repaired just yet. You know, this is very APM intensive here for INnoVation. He has to set up all these liberation zones and then cancel them once he's driven him out. Keeping INnoVation very preoccupied this game.
Oh my
Again,
God.
Look, he stays right outside the.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? He just blinks out.
He's like, no, it's okay. Whatever. And look at this, the one DT just under here.
There are so many Liberators here.
By the way, 35 SCVs were killed in this process. Oh my God, he got around again.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage.
By the way, supplies here, 167 to 136.
There are 18 SCVs. There's almost no SCVs.
SOS is bleeding him out.
But he has like no army.
This is the...
No, let's both just yell at the same time. This series is so crazy.
Sandwiches! I can't believe how this game has panned out. It's 16 SCVs to 63 workers. As much as we focus on this army moving around on the map, and INnoVation trying to bust out while SOS keeps them contained. The whole time, SOS has been bleeding out the workers.
Yeah, he has.
Meaning that INnoVation's army, he has to make it work with what he's got.
He's about to lose another base, though, here, Tasteless.
Yeah.
That base is so dead. Oh, my God.
I don't think he cares about this. I think he's going to give this up, no problem.
Well, he's going to go finally kill that planetary.
By the way, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to check, but I think INnoVation never knew about that upper right base.
No,
another big highlight from this game.
Well, he would not have won this if that went scouted. If that got scouted, that's it. Oh my God!
I think that SOS just goes for the closer. Keep in mind that upper right main, having that there is just too strong.
Oh, dude, he just needs to target these planetaries, and then the Blink DTs will finish this game for him.
Yeah, the command center's here. Okay, now
INnoVation thinks he's in a base trade.
Yeah.
Little does he know the base is in the top right.
Yeah, he's. There's no way that I can imagine unless with pure finesse he actually stops this. You got to stop that CC before it scouts your expansion.
Okay,
so there
is not a planetary. There's 8 DTs. I mean, not a planet. There's no scans.
Right? Yeah.
There's no Raven.
Oh, that's a good point. There is no Raven.
There's 8 Dark Templars.
Yep, he has no detection. This
what
should be checkmate. This should be checkmate. What? Yep.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's how it is.
He's got to pick that up. No, he can. INnoVation still might.
No, GG. SOS takes game 5. Whoa,
crazy.
You gotta feel good about that game.
8 DTs.
I'm sorry, I did not know that PBT could be that elastic as far as what you could do. That was a style of play that would only work against one of the greatest Terrans of all time because you were feeding him the exact right information to alter his play styles so that you then have a response that then makes him respond a certain way. So then you have another response. And the way that was closed was so absolutely beautiful.
Just
shutting out the command centers, denying scan, identifying that there's no Raven, then making a few remaining DTs check and mate, my friend.
Oh, yeah, what a wild game right now. And we just saw SOS's coach up there, his teammates up there talking to him. You know what I think they're saying to him right now? They're saying, but which 4 Protosses did he practice with for this GSL finals? SOS like, I'm not sure. He's like, do you think it was Zess? Was he talking about Zess? It's like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But now,
the funny thing is,
he's up 3-2.
Does it really matter who you practice with when you go up against SOS? He's not going to do anything that's normal.
No.
Listen, When we finally have the supercomputer that can battle humans, we need to send SOS out. He's the only person.
He might actually be.
Yeah, that I think.
But you know it'll be INnoVation that gets to go play.
Probably.
I see the writing on the wall for that one. But SOS, oh man. The AI will shut itself off.
That's right.
It will figure out that disconnect is the only way to counter SOS.
The only thing that the AI will learn is how to uninstall the game after that. Oh, man. It's crazy. INnoVation, by the way, really hanging on. It's just that SOS has an answer. He's showing us how far that rabbit hole can go.
Dude, our next map, Ascension to Ire. This is just a gigantic map. It is one where we can truly see a straight-up macro game. But will we? Will SOS allow it?
I don't know. SOS always with a plan. INnoVation. He's got that mechanics. He's got that discipline. But it's so far in this game, SOS just seems to be one step ahead. Again, if SOS wins this next game, it's over. INnoVation has to win this game and the next. We're now going into game number 6. SOS versus INnoVation.
Yeah. Fight! Fight! Heaven shall burn. In a cloud of fire we stand. Fight! Wings are warm. Are you ready to fight? Yeah!
And that's why we cast and don't have a ban. In the bottom right, in the blue, one win away from a GSL Code S victory. He is
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
Oh no, his probe is already in the audience.
He's making a pylon on the SOS side of the studio. In the upper left, in the red, he is
INnoVation.
You watch. This is I have no idea what could possibly. Look at the INnoVation fans. They're stoic, just like INnoVation. They're like, well, we hope that he can show his macro game finally. Oh, I don't know. But SOS. This might just be a scouting program.
Well, you also got to keep in mind that SOS is always okay dialing all the way back. That's the mom of SOS.
She's on skymall.com right now. It's like, I want the dog dish that talks to my dog. Mom, you don't even have a dog. So?
Well, the funny thing about SOS, though, is that really he'll do a bunch of crazy games and then go right back into a macro game and the other guy's trying, almost overreacting. Look at that. That's the INnoVation Pac-Man. Money, money, money.
That is true. He's won a ton of championships this year. Don't forget.
Yeah, these guys are doing okay for themselves.
Well, part of this season. By the way, I like where INnoVation's brain is at, just going directly reactor, not getting a Reaper. If you get the Reaper, SOS's greatest weapon against Terran is the Terran Reaper. Because the Reaper scouts things, and he's like, oh, and now that's what you think? Oh, you're falling into my trap. It's almost better to not even scout and have no idea what's going on.
In some ways, you're correct. Because, it's not just whether or not you find SOS's stuff. Sometimes you only need to find half of it for SOS's plan to work. This is why he's such a good poker player in the game of StarCraft. His bluffing is so good that it is punishing to a player like INnoVation, somebody who's built their career on the raw mechanics, on textbook StarCraft.
We'll see if that pays off for him here. We have a Robo and a Twilight. What will this be for? We're not completely sure, of course. I mean, it could be anything from what we saw in Game 1 into a straight, it could be a Glaives all-in. Hell, it could be Blink Observer, INnoVation getting that third command. Ooh, that's a quick Prism, my friend.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to put the aggression on pretty quickly here and getting a Dark Shrine.
Well, this is 3 command centers, and he didn't go Reaper, which means he should auto-turret. Shouldn't he just automatically get a turret?
Oh, I think no matter what, but keep in mind, if this starts to do damage fast enough, things can snowball, right?
But with three command centers, you would think that he's going to have a scan.
No, he'll for sure have a scan, unless he gets too greedy. I don't think he will, but people overdrop mules and then they're not ready. I would imagine INnoVation's going to be ready no matter what for that. But
that scan.
Ooh, well, he saw literally everything. There you go.
He didn't see the natural nexus.
Yeah. How does he know?
What are you talking
it's
about?
It's a one-base build.
It's like, wow, that's the latest one-base DT ever.
So we have the Warp Prism out on the map. Let's follow up with an observer here. I think INnoVation should hold this. Yeah. He should be completely fine. And I think this puts INnoVation in a better position in this game.
I agree
SOS is rapidly taking up to something that doesn't really give him, if it doesn't work right away, it doesn't give him a lot of opportunities.
Macro openings? Okay, let's see if he gets DT Blink. Yes.
He is.
Okay, so DT Blink starts.
Oh, we've seen this before where people actually just, you think it's going to be this like tactical DTs hitting everywhere, and instead they just dive on top.
It could have been what he was starting with, but when it got scanned, he switched it into this. So guys, what this is, there is one player who invented this. His ID is Nightmare. He streams a decent amount on Twitch. You can check him out. I forget what his ID is, like Nightmare64 or something. I don't know. But anyways, he made this DT Blink charge build where he has mass DTs, blink and kind of trap your army, so Zealots charge into it.
So the Zealots charge in and you blink behind their army with the DTs, and everything suddenly dies.
It is hilariously hard to stop if you don't know that it's coming.
And I don't know how much experience INnoVation has against this.
Well, Nightmare is normally around rank 60, and INnoVation is normally around rank 1. So I guess it depends on the time of day, but I don't think they hit each other too much. So, I think Nightmare is really the only guy that uses this. So this is something that could be tricky. But look, INnoVation, if he just plays kind of turtly in macros, then eventually SOS can't. I mean, you can't just max out on DT charge.
No, you cannot.
That's not how the world works. That's all melee units. 200 of melee units. It's like what?
Okay, Zealot Legs and DT Blink are almost done. The rush can't be activated until those abilities are up.
Yeah.
So he's got enough DTs. I assume the next warp-in will be Zealots.
Well, he's got.
And this is happening, by the way, while INnoVation's taking his third.
Dude, that is so many DTs. Look how many DTs he's making.
It's kind of gross.
Does he have enough to do this?
Okay. He's coming in.
Oh my god.
Oh, scan.
That was a sick
drives
scan.
it back. There it is. Blink from behind. Now he could pick up. Is it going to work? I think INnoVation has calculated this out so that he should basically be okay. And this is bad for SOS.
Yeah. There's no question there that this was a failure by SOS. That was a magnificent scan by INnoVation. SOS was trying to hit him. Like, even those first couple volleys that you get for free as Terran are so important. And SOS DTs are really, really expensive units.
Okay, he's going to try to come in again. This loses momentum pretty quickly. He's going to blink in. He does not get behind. And therefore, the kiting will continue here by INnoVation. By the way, this... if you don't do the damage right away with this build, it's pretty bad. I mean, I appreciate the third base is being taken here, but he's going to try to have to win now by having not enough scans, or INnoVation has not enough scans, but I think INnoVation already prepared for that. He's been pretty diligent here. And
what is the winning strategy at this point?
I think all INnoVation has to do is make stuff and then counter push. Just have enough at home to stop the Warp Prism.
Don't drop any more mules, just have scans.
Right, yeah. Play a kind of conservative game here.
Yeah, basically SOS is so deep right now, I don't think he can transition into anything. I do not think that there is a strategy that really exists that
was a sick dodge, by the way.
Can get him out of this, other than continuing to make these units and trying to gain an advantage.
Another scan here, over in the center right.
Yeah, he sees 2 probes on the third, which tells him everything he needs to know. That SOS is super all in.
Okay, from here you can go Zealot Archon. One of the disadvantages about this build, guys, is that the Protoss is investing so much gas into the DTs, you don't steadily tech up to the other stuff you need. So he's going to go for it, but I mean, with the Liberators here, this is going to be very hard to take out, especially with Widow Mines present as well. Terran abusing the structures here to get in the way. SOS may just tap out, actually. Yeah. There it is. GG. INnoVation takes it, and that means we're going to the last game. Oh hell yes. Oh, hell yes.
God.
The dream is real. Game number 7. SOS versus INnoVation. I don't know who's going to win.
The sickest nerd chills, Tasteless. SOS INnoVation Game 7. This series has delivered.
Are we in the greatest GSL Code S finals? I think we are. These games are pretty crazy.
Dude, everyone was watching Dark INnoVation, was like, well, maybe this is the series of the year. That series sucked. That series was terrible.
It was garbage.
This is madness.
Or as the French say, garbage.
I can't even believe what we're watching right now. Tied up 3-3. The final map, Acolyte. This is a wild map where SOS has a lot of different things he can do, but at the same time, INnoVation can expand quite safely here. He can get his macro going here.
Oh, man. We're going to go back and look at this weird game. This fever dream of a build.
Oh, God.
Remember when this happened?
When all his buildings were down there.
You don't make buildings in your base? Guys, what are you doing? It looked like a Brood War build, actually. How many decks he took?
Super cool. Remember INnoVation shaking his head and being like, what?
Yeah. And the transition into Zealot legs. SOS really showing us a huge variety of styles here. And this was also the game where, if you look at the upper right of the mini-map, INnoVation never figured out that SOS expanded on his side of the map. SOS definitely playing a patient long game, but by his own rules.
Yeah,
and winning with the DTs here because there were not enough scans. There it is. He takes out the CCs up here.
And you pick off every single orbital, and suddenly he can't see my invisible units, of which he warped in 8, so he was super on top of what he needed to do.
And then with no scans here, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when the DTs come for you? I can't see them. And that was GG. I'm really glad we got that highlight up there.
Yeah. And of course,
by the way, we've never seen INnoVation get outmaneuvered. At the same time, though, he is holding his own. He really is. INnoVation's looking scary, but SOS is doing everything to prevent this macro machine, this supercomputer, from getting too big, too powerful. He's keeping him up against the ropes. Now, this was the last game we had here. Now, this is a very specific, unusual build that involves you blinking behind the army like that, and then the speed zealots come in the front, but INnoVation's like, I know this exactly, and just guns it all down.
That initial scan was actually the difference. He killed 2 or 3 DTs right off the bat, and it slowed everything down that he was doing here with these melee units, right? He could have gotten a lot more damage if that hadn't happened, but INnoVation was just so on top of everything.
We are going to be going into our final game momentarily. It's tied up 3-3. This is the last GSL Code S of 2017.
Tasteless.
Yes.
This is the one true time to say this. Literal gods. Tasteless.
Yes. I think you are right, Artosis. We are about to see the most important PVT in the careers of SOS and INnoVation. SOS is yet to become a GSL Code S champion. If INnoVation wins this GSL Code S, he will become, even with MVP, in GSL Code S wins. SOS, the 2-time champion, but still never able to hold up that GSL Code S trophy. So much is on the line. The narrative of StarCraft 2 is about to change one way or the other. And it's all going to come down to who wins this last game on the map Acolyte. And we're going into that right now. It's loading up. This is the last game of the finals. SOS versus INnoVation.
Fight! Stand, fight, heaven shall burn. In a cloud of fire we stand. Fight, wings are warm, are you ready to fight?
In the upper right, in the blue, crazy Protoss player, truly on a level of his own. He is.
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
By the way, there's a probe way out on the map right now.
in the bottom left, the greatest mechanical player in all of StarCraft 2.
INnoVation.
Okay, so he sent a probe immediately here, although I don't believe this is intended to build anything.
I think you're right. I think that this scouting path he took was looking for proxies. It's what
this is one way to look for a proxy, is check their main.
Yeah.
You know, then you're.
But on
you
the
know
way too, he kind of went through an area that maybe if you were proxying, you would go. Like, I mean, you have to guess which side, right? But kind of interesting that he's sent this probe out so early. But he definitely does need to know. INnoVation does mix and cheeses at this point. You know, if this was MVP, there'd be 2 barracks across the map on Game 7 against the Protoss. In fact, that's exactly how that went down.
Yeah. So this is a map where you could absolutely be tempted to go into a macro game, but there's a double-edged sword with that line of thought anyways. Oh, wow, he didn't get the denial. He was just a hex off. But occasionally, you could punish somebody who's doing that, you know? Somebody who's expanding too quickly. But so far, it seems like they're both leaning in that macro direction. The only thing that's really, truly unusual, well, now, second thing that's unusual, was the probe scouting immediately in the main here. But taking that second gas can throw off the build for INnoVation. This is something we traditionally see in StarCraft 1, where you take the Terran's gas right away, but you only have 1 gas in Brood War. So,
well, this certainly limits what options INnoVation has, right? So SOS can just look at that and say, okay, you know, there's a certain number of things that can be occurring now, and he doesn't have to defend against absolutely everything. He is going for a Stargate. I'm super interested to see what he goes for, because like SOS is the guy that, if it's possible on a map, he will go air toss. Like, he loves air toss, doesn't matter what race it's against, he will do it. And I do know that, I mean, this was a while ago, though. We saw Neeb go for air toss on this map previously during GSL versus the World. He actually thought it was broken at that time on this map against Terran. So that could be what we see from SOS. I mean, if someone were to do it, this seems like the guy.
Now, I would love to see him go air toss for sure. Something tells me he's not going to this game.
Okay.
But let's wait and see here. I feel like in any SOS game, even if it starts off looking normal, we're basically waiting to see that weird point where it deviates, right? INnoVation has been very good about trying to scout, very good about trying to respond. But again, SOS is this player that just plays outside the meta always. He doesn't want to beat you on all that. Did Reaper spot the third base, by the way? I don't think it was in vision range. I don't think he saw it.
I think it's not super hard to guess whether or not it's there. You know, the third base, generally Protoss does want to take it as quickly as they really can, unless it's going to be a 2-base all-in, but Reaper's still kind of floating around, a Robo on the way. Mothership Core just now coming up. Oracle going across the map, so nothing really too out of the ordinary here.
There's gold bases on this map, but they're pretty tough to hold. Unlike
those are
some of the other maps we've seen, in the series.
Yeah.
They're out there. If they're taken, it'll be later on in this game, and we'll have a lot to talk about, but I don't think we're going to have anything like that.
We normally only see those in the craziest games. To defend that, it's like you leave everything else open.
Yeah,
it's in such an awkward spot to defend.
It's at such an angle where it'll just catch their entire army. It's really hard to defend, so we're not going to be talking about that too much coming up here. And we're seeing now the robotics bay coming down.
Okay.
And it just seems like a really modest tech up here from SOS.
It's a little bit interesting because it's quick 3-base and quick what I assume is going to be Colossus tech here, probably not disruptors. But the quick Colossus tech, is this going to work out well? Like there's
Well, the first thing I think when I see this is you might be susceptible to pushes or drops. But then again, how has this whole series gone so far? Are you really going to want to try to drop right away as INnoVation after having so many weird games that turn into base trades?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, geez, kill that. Okay, good kill right there. Is INnoVation just going to take this third base?
Looks like he is.
No, I'm a little bit afraid for SOS right now.
Yeah, no, he's
the
certainly
second
vulnerable.
Siege is about to come out.
And this is a similar push to what I think when we saw TY do to stats at IEM and Katowice.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have the 3 tanks and you come out and it's like just enough.
Dude, with
the Protoss sort of falls apart.
He's got no units. He's got like a Phoenix. He's going to have a Colossus. He's got 2 Adepts, a Zealot, a Sentry, an Oracle. Like, he needs the greatest stasis ward of all time, or I think he's going to lose his...
Oh
his
my
natural.
God.
Dude, this is as bad as it can get for SOS, I think. Like, how do you ever hold this?
Well, losing that one Phoenix, every unit's so important, and you need to get that critical mass for Protoss to take on the brute force that Terran has early on. And I think INnoVation's finally going to be able to punish here.
Oh, he scans the stasis ward. That stasis ward is like the most important thing on Earth. Oh, that's so brutal.
And it's very straightforward from here for the Terran. Look, he sets up the bunkers, gets the siege tanks in positions where it's not easy to pick them up.
It does take a while to actually kill this Nexus.
Right.
I mean, he can just stim in, but you kind of want to push it with the siege tanks. The double bunker is brilliant, though. That's so good.
Yeah, well, all he has to do is get this. Go! Whoa, no. He's backing it up.
Oh, this is not
It's called
good.
hold position, man.
This
hold
is
position.
Not good at all for SOS.
Okay, he's just going to lose his Nexus. In fact, those two botched force fields.
Yeah, they do nothing at all. The Nexus is gone. I think he just has to give it up.
Yeah, no, you have to sack the Nexus from here, which means INnoVation's going to have a huge lead. SOS perhaps a little bit too greedy. He might end up losing his finals.
Yeah, he might well do that. Pushing forward right now with these Colossus. Is he going to be able to break through? No! A ton of damage on that one Colossus.
He has not managed to take out either Colossus. The Phoenix is now gunned down that last Viking. The Nexus is in the red now and is about to be taken out. Yeah, he's going to lose that Nexus. There's nothing he can do, and INnoVation knows he's been pinned. He's been cornered here. And look, I mean, INnoVation has this great outpost here. SOS taking a note from Game 5, expanding to the bottom right again in the side of the map that really is INnoVation's turf. SOS has to drag this game out into an incredibly long one if he wants to win, and INnoVation is only leaning on him harder and harder.
Okay, those medevacs coming out a little bit greedily. Oh, he actually gets to pick it off. Ooh, big mistake right there, losing a Colossus. That might have been a fresh one as well. Lasers shooting through the ground there, killing Marines. How does SOS come back? I mean, the hidden base is not a terrible call. He's got to take some big risks to come out of this.
The thing is, I don't think there's anything to incentivize INnoVation to even give up this position.
Do you know what he's doing here, Tasteless? Phoenix range. He's really pulling out every bag of tricks that he can think of right now.
Oh my God, is he going to see this? I think
no,
this
he's
is
just barely not going to. Just barely.
Right-clicking.
So, I got to mention this, right? This is a great idea to try to come back because INnoVation is building Vikings, right?
Oh, you need to have him.
Oh, that is the most painful thing that could have happened here.
That's not the first time he's lost Phoenixes needlessly either.
Yeah. But going back to this, if you're trying to counter this with Vikings and your opponent goes mass oh God, lost 5. Imagine if he had 7 Phoenixes right now. But if you are going mass Phoenixes, then suddenly your Colossus are going to shred everything. Because you are not going to even touch the Colossus. The Phoenixes will deal with everything. So,
oh my God, he sees it. And right as the probes are transferred, huge moment here. This is the worst thing that could have happened. SOS literally an anti-timing here.
This is very hurtful for SOS.
I think we're going to see SOS slowly shrink out of this game, guys. It's 172 supply to 135.
Recall's
SOS
back.
contained 2 bases to 3, and I can only imagine a 4th is on the way. Whoa! Is he going to go for a base trade here?
He might do that. He's going to be able to pick off a lot of these bio units.
That does INnoVation scans above the ramp. He's going to pull the trigger and try to close this out. But we're now in a base trade. The probes and the army here for SOS are in the bottom right.
This is a ballsy
This is an
call.
insane play, but it actually might work.
If he can actually break through here with these probes, it'll be the greatest move in the history of GSL. It is not looking too promising. That's a lot of Vikings right there.
Coming forward now. The Zealots and the probes, everything in the front. SOS's base is being shredded apart, but there's not enough anti-air. Too many Vikings driving this back, and this insane play by SOS is getting shut down by INnoVation.
And it looks like that could be it. SOS's main base in shambles now.
GG! INnoVation is the 3-time GSL Code S champion.
INnoVation now ties the record with MVP. We compared them before, and that is only going to increase. Is INnoVation the greatest of all time? Tonight, he certainly looked like it.
Tonight is INnoVation's night. He did it. It's been so long since we've seen somebody match MVP. His play style was brilliant. No matter how crazy SOS was, INnoVation stayed stable, stayed focused, kept producing, kept scouting, and in the end, he overcame the two-time BlizzCon World Champion SOS. He defeated him 4-3.
Just astounding play this year by INnoVation. You know, he's won SSL, he's won VSL, he won IM Young, he's won GSL Code S here. This is ridiculous. His list of accomplishments goes on and on and on. His form is absolutely top-notch, and you have to make him the favorite going to the World Championships at BlizzCon.
History has been made tonight as INnoVation only further cements his presence as the greatest StarCraft 2 player in the world. We are going to go now to an interview, with INnoVation and see what his thoughts are now that he's won his third GSL Code S.
우승하지 못하는 게 아닌가라는 그런 정말 어둠의 기운이 좀 드리웠는데 그걸 이겨내면서 우승을 차지했습니다. 정말 힘들었죠. 정말 어려웠죠.
A lot of people doubted that you'd be able to make a third championship title. How do you feel after defeating SOS 4-3? Well,
일단은 오늘 좀
first of all, today
스코어가 이제 밀리면서 이번에는
the score.
이제 우승을
I know I was behind at the beginning of the series.
생각을 중간에 했었는데 그래도 끝까지
I had this gut feeling I might not win at that point in time. But I just focused in and emptied my mind. And in the end, I managed to pull it off.
기쁘고요.
I'm so happy to raise another GSL Code S trophy.
너무 잘해가지고 굉장히 어려운 경기였던
And of course, SOS. He's a very worthy opponent. He's a great player.
경기를 하는데 그
So I'm
과정에서
very
도움을 좀
proud
많이 줬고
to defeat him
또
today.
이신영 선수는 그 누구보다도 정말
A lot
사랑스러운
of people helped you
가족들,
on your journey to
저는 많은
become
형제들이
the third-time
있거든요.
GSL Code S champion. Your
친남매,
family has always stood
부모님,
behind you.
거기다가 이제 뒤에서 힘을
Your
실어주는
brothers and sisters.
동생까지 이
Is there anything you want to
가족들
say to
앞에서
them?
우승을 차지하고 최고의 선수임을 증명을 했습니다.
Here's your
그동안
family in
도움을
front of you.
주셨던 가족분들에게 한 말씀 해주신다면요?
You've proven to them
결승
that you're one of the greatest, or you're the greatest player. Anything you want to say?
와주셔가지고
So whenever I have a finals,
매번 그래도 올 때마다
my family always came down and watched me and supported me and cheered for me.
보여드려서 다행인 것 같고 응원해 주셔서 감사합니다.
It's a huge relief to me that I can show them this performance like this.
전 세계 최강임을
I hope they're proud of me.
이제 GSL을 시작으로 해서 블리즈컨까지
They're in the hot six zone.
이신영의 시대를 열어야 되는데 정말 아끼고
Coming up is BlizzCon.
사랑해주고 힘을 불어넣어줄 수많은 팬분들이 있어요.
And people are saying you might
이
perform
힘든
very well.
경기에서도 이신영을 외쳐준 팬분들이 있거든요. 이분들에게 한 말씀 해주신다면요.
Anything you want to say?
사실 저번
Honestly,
시즌을 좀 잘
last season,
못해가지고 팬분들께서
I
약간
didn't play very well.
하셨을 것 같은데 그래도 이번
I know that my fans, my family might have been disappointed last
우승도
time.
많이 하고 좋은 모습
But
보여드려서 다행인 것 같고
from this season,
이제 슈퍼 토너먼트랑
I think I pulled up the performance I was hoping to show.
둘 다 잘해서 또
The Super Tournament and BlizzCon are the only thing
빨리
left for me this
떨어져가지고
year.
좀 아쉬웠는데 이번에는 블리즈컨 꼭 결승까지는 가고 싶어요.
Before, when I participated in BlizzCon, I would know I was limited
최고의 자리에
early.
올라선 이신영
This
선수고요.
BlizzCon, it's going to be
그리고
different. I'm going to win the
김민준 선수와도
whole
이야기를
thing.
나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 정말 힘든 순간이었죠. 거의 정말
Now let's talk
밤새가면서
to our
연습하고
runner-up,
팀원들의 도움도
SOS.
받고 팬들의 응원을 받으면서 열심히 싸워줬는데 정말 아쉽게 저는
Your
차지했습니다.
teammates supported you, and your fans supported you as well.
분들 많이 계셨는데
It must be
대회 많이
really tough
남아있잖아요.
right now.
슈퍼토너먼트도 있고 그 무엇보다도 김민준
We
선수에게
still
최고의
have more
대회
tournaments here in
블리즈컨 기다리고
Korea.
있으니까 한 말씀 해주신다면요.
And of course, BlizzCon is around the corner. What do you have to say?
신영이 우승
So first of all,
축하한다고 말하고 싶고
I just want to say
한번
congratulations,
이겨보려고
INnoVation.
많이 했는데 좀 아직
I really prepared hard for this. I really prepped hard to try to beat him.
그 아쉽고 힘들어서 끝난 게 아니라 이달 말부터 슈퍼 토너먼트 시드 받았고 블리즈컨 가서 이 역대 최고의 상을
This is not the end.
거기를 보여주면 되는 거 아니겠어요?
You've got the super tournament coming up and BlizzCon.
쳐주었는데 무대 안에서 열심히 싸우겠다, 잘해보겠다.
It's the biggest prize money this season.
김민 선수 모습 한번 보여주시죠.
Tell your fans you're still confident and you're still a solid player.
꼭 잘해서 블리즈컨 가도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
That's right. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to take the super tournament. I'm still going to try to get the BlizzCon.
결승전이 이렇게 마무리가 됐습니다. 자, 이제 이번 시즌의 피날레를 장식하는 시상식이
So this
기다리고
concludes the
있죠. 먼저
2017
준우승에 대한
GSL, our
시상식을
third season.
진행하도록 하겠습니다.
We're now going to go to the award ceremony.
e스포츠 발전을 위해서
But first for our runner-up.
거기다 이제 오늘 결승 무대를 장식한 선수들의 대선배님이십니다. 블리자드 엔터테인먼트 코리아의 e스포츠 팀 국기봉 팀장님, 여러분의 뜨거운 박수로 모시겠습니다.
And we're going to have Kibong, aka the boy, old school Brood War pro, now working at Blizzard. I guess he's going to give away the check, the flowers, the trophy.
모든 노력을
Oh, wait, did we give
다했습니다.
flowers to number 2?
여러 가지 작전들을
So
준비하면서
this is of course another interesting aspect. How does a player hold 3 things up on stage? Unless you're Goro from Mortal Kombat, it's very hard to pull off.
GSL 시즌 3.
Well, SOS. He'll probably proxy the flowers behind INnoVation, so he slips
flowers.
later.
Oh wait, no, he doesn't get a trophy, right? He just gets a check. Okay, so this is easy. This is easy street.
They don't want to test him anymore.
That's right. So that translates to, or converts to about 15 grand. In case you're wondering, someone's going to type it on Google and then tweet at me correcting me that it's not that exact amount. I'm like, thank you. But it's almost 15 grand. It's around that.
That's closer to 13.9. It's like, okay.
Thank you.
Cool.
우승자 시상이 기다리고 있습니다.
And of course, we do have to see if INnoVation has improved on holding the trophy, kissing the trophy.
Well,
he gets enough practice, I tell you.
Yeah, he's definitely. This is not his first rodeo, not his first prize ceremony.
호명해 보도록 하겠습니다.
And I'm not sure who's bringing out the first place trophy here. Tosis, do you know?
롯데 칠성음료 주식회사
We'll see in just a moment. Probably a hot 6 guy.
Oprah Winfrey. I'm not sure. Someone important. So it's the marketing team directors from Hot 6. And now, okay guys, the flowers, the trophy, the check. Can he hold it off?
You know that zombie, Plants vs. Zombie that comes down the bungee cord?
Of course.
This is where Neep comes down and grabs the trophy out of his hands.
이신영 선수에게는 우승자만이 받을 수 있는
And we're bringing this out. Oh, let's not forget he needs a pin.
꽃다발이 주어지겠습니다. 2017년
This is like the nerd corsage.
최고의 하늘을 보여준
Pro Gamer Prom.
이신영 선수에게
That's right.
뜨거운 박수를
Don't pick up.
부탁드립니다.
Okay, the check. And yes, if you bring that cardboard to the bank, you can cash it. That's how it works.
블리즈컨이 기다리고 있습니다.
Probably just pay tonight at the
이신영 선수의
restaurant
우승
with that.
That's right.
They're going to have
얼마나
to give him a
이어지게
lot of
될지
change, though.
이 역사를 기록하는 한 선수로서 끝까지
Can you
최선을
break a
다해주시길
40 grand
부탁드립니다. 우승자
tournament check?
이신영 선수입니다.
I'm sorry, sir.
Like, oh,
I was clean out
absolutely.
our register.
They give him like 4 second place SSL checks back.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
다시 한번 뜨거운 박수를 보내주십시오.
And now for the obligatory Pro Gamer kissing the trophy. Just coming up here. Oh, I believe we might have a special message from the CEO of AfreecaTV first. I'm not sure if we do this before.
Well,
we'll see.
We'll find out. I'm kind of excited. How's it going to unfold? I don't know. Also, guys, we have the Super Tournament coming up very soon here. So StarCraft 2 is not finished in Korea. We've also been doing the ASL. That's the StarCraft Remastered Tournament that's already underway.
What's INnoVation looking at? He's looking all over the place.
Okay, so we have a special announcement from Kevin, the CEO of AfreecaTV.
여러분, 이렇게 해서 2017년 GSL 시즌이 마감이 됐습니다. 여러분의 올해 한 해 동안의 뜨거운 응원 너무 감사드리고
So the 2017 GSL CODES has been concluded today.
상황 속에서
Thank you for your support and your love.
이렇게 성대하게 후원해 주신 롯데 칠성음료 하식스에게 다시 한번 감사드리고 블리자드에게도 감사드립니다.
Always once
그리고
again.
무엇보다도 우리 선수들 또 우리
I want to express my gratitude to Blizzard
다음 주에
and Hot
슈퍼
6.
토너먼트 이신영,
And also
김민재
thank you to
선수
the
다시
fans
한번
and the players as well.
주시기 바라고요. 제일 중요한
In
건
2 weeks, we have the
2018년도
Super Tournament.
GSL
And
작년 그리고 올해 2017년보다 더
in 2018,
크게
we have big
더
plans for the
화려하게
GSL
더
Code S.
멋있게 계속 만들어 가도록 하겠습니다. 여러분 많이 응원해 주시기 바랍니다.
It's
감사합니다.
going to be bigger, better. As far as I'm concerned, Artos is badasser.
대표님의
Badasser, it's a word.
Tastelesser, Artosesser.
Yeah, Tastelesser.
하는 선수들과
Can it be done?
팬분들이
All right,
때문에
where did INnoVation go?
계속해서 볼 수가
We still
있었습니다.
got to close this thing
국내
out.
팬분들뿐만 아니라 전 세계에서
No, they're gonna-
오늘 LA에서 오신 분도 계시고
They're
브라질에서
gonna
오신
throw it
분도
to us already.
계신데요.
Yeah.
저희가 더 노력해서
McTonsils.
전 세계
Oh my.
최고의 리그임을
This has been
계속
pretty
증명해 나가도록
fantastic,
하겠습니다.
do have to say.
이제 GSL은요
Wow.
끝이 아니라 새로운
What a
시작임을
finals.
알리겠습니다.
Definitely amongst the
man.
best that we've ever had.
It was a real treat to cast.
Yeah.
All the games totally different. I love the way INnoVation closed it out. We've seen great Protosses get taken down before in the final game in a best of 7.
The
like
two-tank
that.
push, like this is a strategy that's pretty standard. It's not something too far out there. SOS was trying to be super greedy, man.
Yeah.
If there weren't siege tanks involved, he would have held on against anything else in the entire game. It's exactly the siege tank push that could have gotten him
It keeps the Protoss honest, and I think that was a great approach for him to have there. Again, do not forget about the Super Tournament that's coming up. Check out the ASL if you want to learn StarCraft Remastered. If you like this show, then you're going to like that. It's all StarCraft. It's all RTS. And that does it for us. Thank you guys for joining us for this season of the GSL Code S, and we'll be back with the GSL Code S in 2018. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
It's not easy. You can leave here anytime. You know, it's just not right.